On today's episode, we're the ones diving below the hard deck. Now grab your tickets, because we're getting to the theater. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Getting to the Theater. I'm Adam.
I'm Erica.
I'm Corey.
I'm Etta.
I'm Jeremy.
For today's episode, we're talking about Top Gun from 1986, starring Tom Cruise.
Yes.
Footnote, I don't like Tom Cruise, so.
I kind of only like his Mission Impossible movies.
Those are literally the only movies I've seen
And then
of his.
Interview with a Vampire is the only one I really care for.
Last Samurai I liked.
Gotcha, I
I've
haven't
never
that
seen
one.
any of the Mission Impossible.
They're good.
Most of them are good.
They just get repetitive.
Oh, that is 100% true.
No.
Every single one of those movies is the exact same thing. There's a rogue agent. Tom Cruise's character gets... Everyone thinks his character is secretly the villain. Mm-hmm. By the end of it, he's got to prove his innocence and catch the bad guy. I think we talked about that on a previous episode, actually.
We probably did.
On the Fast and Furious episode.
No, it was probably the Minority Report episode, because that was Tom Cruise, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This is our second Tom Cruise movie.
Oh, my God.
This movie was directed by Tony Scott, who Erica might not like because he does a lot of dad movies.
According to him.
Oh, I can see that.
That term is banned. You have to bleep that.
Nah.
Beep.
There's a lot of beep movies.
Yeah.
A lot of...
Tony Scott died in 2012.
Damn.
Of COVID?
No!
Yeah,
it wasn't there
100%. Yeah,
But-
he went to one of those other areas and caught it.
He
Filming.
directed this. He directed Beverly Hills Cop 2, Days of Thunder, another Tom Cruise movie.
Oh, Days of Thunder? I love that movie.
The Last Boy Scout, True Romance, Crimson Tide. He does a lot of Denzel Washington, Gene Hackman movies.
True Romance.
The Fan, Enemy at the State,
Is
Enemy
Crimson-
of the State.
Oh, he did Man on Fire?
Man on Fire, Spy Game,
Man on
Domino,
Fire.
Deja Vu, the remake of Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3, and Unstoppable. But the most important thing he ever directed was the music video for Danger Zone by Kenny Loggins.
He did the music
He
video?
directed the music video.
No wonder it's in there so much. He's like, this is payback.
That's what
And
I'm
it was
talking
the
about.
same year.
Did he also do the music video for Take My Breath Away?
Oh, I don't know.
If so, I can see why they were in the movie, because they were probably free.
Wait, let me use this.
Uh-huh.
All right.
100%.
But yeah, so that's our director, Tony Scott. So this movie is basically about a hotshot Navy pilot gets sent to their flight school called Top Gun. Its real name is Fighter Weapons School.
Is it really? Because everyone has Top Gun merch.
Yeah, they nicknamed it Top Gun, but the technical name is Fighters Weapons School.
It was in the,
The paragraph
I
at the
read
beginning.
Yeah.
obviously.
I saw the words and I was like,
Don't care that much.
Yep.
But so he's sent there to train, and basically they teach them how to dogfight in jets. So instead of and I think they say this in the classroom scene later on, instead of relying on their missiles, they teach them how to
Outmaneuver.
outmaneuver and not rely on their. It's like Star Wars; they're not relying on their targeting system.
They're just training them to be the best in the whole entire world.
Right.
And they're really not relying on those targeting systems because the people in the back are swiveling all around.
Oh, the ones in the back.
Well,
Yeah,
they
they're the
can't
spotters.
see.
True.
Yeah.
They're Rios. They're radar something officer.
They're the ones that are pretty much scouting in the window and using like the communications to reach back and forth with the ship and stuff.
Radar intercept officer. Rio.
Weren't they firing missiles the whole time?
No.
No,
Just the
They
pilot.
fired missiles once.
there is not a missile or bullet fired in this movie until the last 10 minutes.
And he misses like 2 of them.
When they
Well,
do the
the
actual
whole-
fight?
When there's an actual
Well, the whole
air combat at
movie-
the end of the movie.
The whole movie is just
They
training.
weren't using like the lock-on system the whole
No,
time?
they were using that. They just weren't actually firing anything because it was training
Yeah.
exercise.
Locking just says, "Hey, I killed you" in real life.
Yeah.
That's all that was. So the opening credits of this movie, Val Kilmer comes before Anthony Edwards. Iceman comes before Goose, even though Goose is the better character.
Yeah, but in the end credits, Goose comes before Iceman.
They should have done that at the beginning.
Yeah.
So this movie actually starts off with Jeremy's new favorite song, Danger Zone by Kenny Loggins.
I actually already liked it before because of Archer.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only way I've heard this song was Archer.
Well,
Is it an Archer?
They make reference to it all the time. They had an episode with Kenny Loggins playing himself.
yeah.
But that song gets played 3 times in this movie.
Oh, only 3?
Only 3.
It's not a bad song.
Yeah, it's not a bad song.
It's just overused.
They only paid for like 4 songs. And they were like, we're getting our money's worth.
They definitely got their money's worth.
Yeah, their other song they play 4 times.
Fireball probably got played 4
See,
times.
I actually did appreciate though because like movies now is like they have a whole 20-song soundtrack. And
To be fair, that Spider-Verse soundtrack, though, is amazing.
Some movies are actually bad movies with really good soundtracks.
And it deceives you.
Twilight.
Yeah, and it tries to trick you into thinking you're having a good time watching this movie because they'll be playing this song and you'll be like, oh man, this is a good song. But nothing's going on screen. The movie sucks, but the soundtrack is great.
Oh yeah, they'll definitely get you with that.
I'm not going to say that the movie that's in my head right now, but you
Say
know the
the
one.
movie.
Do it.
You know the one though.
Say the movie.
Great Gatsby.
The Great Gatsby. But yeah, that's not a good movie. Great soundtrack, great actors, not a good movie.
I
So-
will leave you.
So
Divorce
So-
is imminent.
so this movie has a 24-year-old Tom Cruise playing Navy pilot Pete Mitchell. His call
I
sign
forgot
is
that was
Maverick.
his name.
I did too.
Yeah.
Like halfway through the movie, I was like, his name is Pete.
Yeah,
Pete.
They kept randomly saying, I was like, who the hell is Pete?
That's Maverick.
Pete.
Pete Mitchell.
His Rio, as we talked about, is Nick Bradshaw, code name or call sign Goose.
Oh, yeah.
Best character in the movie.
100%.
I
think
didn't know
that's-
his name was Nick.
They never say his real name. They only ever call him Goose.
Or Bradshaw.
Mm-hmm.
I think they, yeah.
Yeah, and then they just straight disrespect him at the end of the movie.
You know, giving him the bird.
Damn.
Yeah, I understand. Oh, I hate it when it does that.
He was good. I liked him a lot in this movie. So they're running they're not even doing an exercise, but they're just like patrolling with 2 other pilots, Cougar and
Merlin.
And Merlin is played by Tim Robbins. And Tim Robbins is only in the beginning and very end of this movie. They get into a little scuffle with some
Migs.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. And it really shakes Cougar up. They chase them both off. No planes get shot down. And when Maverick is coming in to land, he takes off again because he needs to go help.
Cougar. Because no one at that point had been face to face with a MiG.
Mm-mm.
And that one was locked on him for a hot minute while Maverick and Goose took care of the other one. And then when they got there to shake him off, or they shook the other one off, this one was very persistent to be like, oh, I'm better. And then it fried Cougar.
Yeah, he was shaking.
Which is weird, because he was on his way back, you know, and then he was like, you know what, but let me go ahead and crash this plane instead of getting home to my wife and child.
Yeah, he was lost. Nothing was going on behind his eyes.
He was shaking up before it got out. It was just once it was gone, they were like, hey, man. Because he never answered Maverick when they were leaving. He was already done.
Why was he shaking up like that?
Because he about died.
Because the MiG?
Yeah, I
locked
think he was
onto
just
him?
scared the
Yeah.
MiG was going to take him out,
Just the
and
whole
he just shook him.
situation.
Okay, so he thought he was going to die, and
Yeah.
then boom.
Yeah, that was it.
Okay,
He was
making
like,
sure.
I survived, better, you know, not survive. Make it worth it.
It's kind of like that situation, I guess you don't know until you've had a gun put to your head. Kind of
Yeah,
thing.
I mean that's kind of what happened. He got a
That
gun
is.
put to his head, and he
Only because of another pilot, he lived.
right. And this is the only time in this entire movie I liked Maverick because he takes back off, he disobeys orders, but he does it to help his fellow pilot. And after this, he's a complete arrogant prick
He does
for
it
the
at
rest of this movie.
He does it at the end for Iceman.
Well, he covers Iceman in that dogfight.
No, he shot down 4.
He shot down 3.
I thought
I kept a tally.
I thought it
he
was
shot down
4.
3. I think I shot down 1 or 2, and then the rest of them they scared off. But just in this, after this, everything that this movie is primarily about him at Top Gun, he's just an arrogant asshole. But in this moment, he shows that he actually is like looking out for someone else.
Well, it's also that backstory of why he's doing it.
Which I feel like we don't really get.
You barely get anything.
Because it's confidential.
Yeah, they didn't do great with the characterization.
No.
They started off well, how they framed him, and then they just completely lost it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if one person had an idea for how the character was going to be, and then somebody else was just like, we're not doing that, and they just I feel like that's exactly what happened.
I feel like this movie, I hate to say it, should have been longer. Because...
To have more details.
Yeah, because like they were just thrown into scenes. I'm like, how did we get here? Why is this relationship happening? Who are you?
What got me was there's so many times in this movie where people are like, "Oh, Maverick, you're so good. You're the best," and blah blah blah. He's always coming in second, or he's fucking up.
Yep.
So basically, with Cougar being shaken from this MiG experience, he turns in his wings and he's done flying.
Wait, did we talk about like how the fact that Maverick flew over the guy upside down and Goose took a Polaroid?
Oh no, I forgot about that.
Yeah. He just he goes in, flies up from behind, or flies under and then up and then behind, and Goose takes a Polaroid picture of the guy in front as he's flicking him off. That was a wild situation. That's the only cool moment. I was like, that's okay. I can see why men like this.
That's pretty dope.
That should be a professional.
They should have just shown everybody that picture. I'd have just had it on me all the time. Like,
Yeah.
Yo, check this out.
I'd have it as
did
a
this.
necklace. Just
Framed.
It's way before Photoshop.
But
Exactly.
I also like how all the MiG pilots, you don't actually see them. Presumably they're Russian because they have a little red star on their respirators.
And it's
But-
the 80s.
And it's the 80s. But they also look like TIE fighter pilots from Star Wars. They have the black helmet, the black respirator, the black visor over their eyes. You never see their face. I was getting strong Empire vibes.
oh, it's 100%.
So
He turns in his wings. Maverick and them get the promotion that they've been dying for, and their I don't know what position he was.
well, Cougar. Their CO here, played by James Tolkien,
Who was in
who was Principal Strickland
Yeah.
in Back to the Future.
Back to the Future.
He was so wet this whole film.
Everybody was wet.
Everybody was sweaty as hell.
Sweaty.
I was like sitting there, I was like, why is everyone so wet?
I
said
100%
the
was
same
trying to
thing.
figure out where you go with this. I was like this. Well, I mean, if you like it, well, okay.
It's
No.
like they didn't have air conditioning anywhere in this movie.
I mean,
Everybody
you
was
gotta
sweaty.
think.
Jumped into the ocean and swam back in. That's how wet they were.
Where
You
was
got-
it filmed?
I don't know. I didn't look up where we.
Okay.
where
Well, you
it's
gotta
filmed.
think that they're on military or
That's
naval
Etta's task.
aircraft. They don't. It's not like air conditioning was top priority.
It wasn't Top Gun.
Boo.
But Tolkien tells them in this scene, like, look, I gotta send somebody over to Miramar. Mm-hmm. Look, Cougar was number 1. You're number 2. He just quit. You're number 1 now.
But like,
California.
Okay.
Yeah.
like the shit that Maverick does, this man should have been kicked out of the army. Or,
Navy.
sorry, the Navy. Multiple times. Because you can't just randomly do flybys just because you want to. You're getting discharged and putting everybody in danger. It's like,
To be fair,
Not danger.
lots of people in the military do stupid things, and they don't get kicked out somehow.
It's all about how good you are.
Erica looked up the penalty for buzzing the tower.
How much?
It was something about they strip you of your wings, they court-martial you, and you could be discharged.
And he didn't get none of that.
Nothing.
he got a promotion!
Well, no, he was about to.
Yeah.
He was about to.
It's probably one of the reasons they didn't get rid of him. It's because they're just like, well, that one guy just quit, so that guy is our best guy right now.
He should have been kicked out.
But
This man should
He
be in
keeps-
jail!
He keeps breaking the rules.
Once again, I have witnessed multiple people doing things they should not have been doing,
Let's
and
also-
somehow they didn't get kicked out.
Let's also remember he saved Cougar's life.
I mean,
That's probably another reason
that's-
they're like this. Yeah, you
I'll
deserve a
give him-
flyby. He's saved 2 to 4 lives in this movie.
But after he put him in danger. because he was supposed to be with Cougar.
No, that's fair. He did.
He was supposed to be Cougar's wingman.
Yeah, so he ran off to chase the other Mig, and then the other Mig came behind Cougar. So it was his fault.
No, that's fair.
I forgot about that.
I forgot about that too.
Yeah.
So this man could be kicked out.
Yeah.
Reckless endangerment of multiple people.
There are a lot of slaps on the wrist in the
Yeah.
military. Like a lot of them.
Oh my god.
What do you expect? They getting paid like shit.
But like, especially since they're like so quick to harp on like who his daddy is and what he supposedly did. And then like it's like they're looking for reasons to kick him out and he's giving them reasons to kick him out. And yet
Tolkien says something in this moment about, your name doesn't mean shit here, or something like that. Yeah, your dad was some good pilot, but that doesn't mean anything to me.
One of the best.
Yeah,
He played by the book, did everything right.
he reluctantly has to send these two. And
does he make a comment while they're all sweating and he's smoking
He said, if you mess up this much, y'all are done. And he did mess up that much, but he's just like, if you mess up this much,
well,
y'all
I
are
like
done.
what he tells them. He goes, "You'll be flying a cargo plane out of Hong Kong full of rubber dog shit."
Yeah. He did not want to send them.
No.
His
No, he
third
did not.
place must have been terrible.
But didn't they like make reference to him like sleeping with someone's daughter?
Admiral's
An
daughter.
admiral's
yeah, that's
daughter,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then Goose looks at him like, "You're talking about Penny? What's her face?" So they get sent to Top Gun. The main base is called Fighter Town over there in Miramar.
Original.
I said the same thing.
Fighter Weapons School, Fighter Town. Their teacher at Top Gun is Jester. I don't remember his real name. Played by Michael Ironside. And he's basically telling them, look, this school was made to teach pilots how to do, basically like what Corey said earlier, kind of like close quarters, not close quarters, but closer combat in a plane. Because we were relying too much on missiles and everything, their skills went down. Dogfighting. And the school is run by Viper. He's in command of the entire program. Ironside, Jester says he's the best pilot here. You won't find anyone better.
He was the first one to get the Top Gun award.
Yeah, and he's played by.
Oh, what's his name?
He was Captain Dallas in Alien.
Oh,
Looking better in
Tom
Alien.
Skerritt.
There we go.
This was only 7 years after Alien. And basically he tells them, at the end of every year, there's an award given for the best pilot and their Rio, and it's put on this plaque in the back of the room. And Tom Cruise has some little arrogant thing about he's going to be the best.
Well, Viper asks, do you know if you're the best? He's like, I am the best.
Something like that.
He's pretty arrogant. He's like this. Yeah.
Yeah, because Maverick said something while Viper had his back turned. And you're kind of introduced to Iceman here, Val Kilmer's character. He's first introduced as just being real antagonistic, but as the movie progresses, he's actually
A decent guy.
yeah, he's very charismatic. He actually explains to Maverick later, look, your flying is great, but you have a bad attitude, and that's going to affect your squad mates.
Character
pretty much.
development.
Yeah,
Real character development.
Didn't him and Goose go to school together or something? Goose knew him beforehand, right?
Cougar. Iceman and
Oh, yeah, that's
he
right.
brought him up.
Okay.
Yeah.
when they're at the Admirals Club later at Animal Night, Iceman mentions that he and Cougar were in flight school together.
Okay.
I think he thanked Maverick for
Saving Cougar.
saving him. Yeah, didn't he?
He might have
I think
He
he
did. He
yeah.
said that.
somewhere in the arrogance,
Yeah.
but also in this classroom scene. I don't remember who the two characters are, but as Michael Ironside is explaining the purpose of the school, one of the guys turns to the other one and goes, "This is giving me such a hard on right now."
Oh, I
and
know.
the other guy goes, "Don't tease me." Is this really the macho
Yep.
80s movie you think it is, or
No, this is actually the most realistic
or is
of
it?
guys.
Yeah, these guys are real
But probably
close.
just guys being in close contact. I mean, a locker room.
Oh,
I'm
absolutely.
sure in the army it was the same.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
probably,
actually.
So, yeah. Just male ego being flung around everywhere. Testosterone.
Yes, this movie is full of it.
These cult classics. are not doing it for
Just
me.
because it's old doesn't mean it's classic.
Yeah.
Cult classic is code for the movie wasn't actually good, but a lot of people like it.
Yeah, once it came out on VHS.
You know what it is? This is a lot of... Okay, I'm going to say it. A lot of people who were in the closet, this was their sexual awakening. They were like, oh, men? That was what this was. Because there is no way that... This is a gay classic.
It might be.
This is a gay classic.
Like...
At the Admiral's Club, it's actually it's Animal Night, which I don't know what the fuck that means.
Everybody can
Yeah.
act.
Apparently, you could just stalk people.
it
Is
means-
what that means.
It means act like an animal.
It means follow this woman you don't know into the bathroom.
Yep.
No
No repercussions.
none.
Because he should have been fired.
Yeah. This is where you meet Iceman's Rio Slider. I think he knows Goose. They're pretty buddy.
Goose is buddy with everybody.
That's true.
'cause
Goose
he's
is
such a
cool with
good
everyone.
person.
Goose is best character. And we meet her name's Charlotte Blackwood. Charlie, played by Kelly McGillis.
Okay.
Yeah.
You really did not like this movie.
No.
I need you to.
Her name, yes.
I
Her
also am in the same boat as you, so
Her call sign was Charlie. Yes.
I forgot her name. Not
Yeah, her. I do remember her name was Charlie. I do not remember who the actress was.
Yeah.
I know she was old.
Something McGillis.
Kelly McGillis.
Yeah.
how old is old? She was
The love interest?
Yeah. I mean,
She was like
she's-
30.
Yeah, she was
Yeah.
like older than him.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wait, are we talking about how old she actually is, like the actress, or are we talking about?
The actress was 30 in the movie,
Okay,
around 30.
so we don't know the character's age. though.
Dang, 6 or 7 years old.
I'm pretty sure she was
Older?
still
Something like
supposed
that.
to
Get
be
it.
older than him, though, right?
She definitely was
I mean,
supposed to be older, yes.
She is an instructor
'Cause
where
she,
he just got here, so
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, she says she'd been there for a while. Because she says like something every 8 weeks new students come in.
Because, yeah, she's, yeah.
But in this moment, Maverick doesn't know who she is. And he's hitting on her. He and Goose do this thing where they start singing to her.
She lost that love and feeling.
And she asks him how many times has that worked?
He's like, yeah.
Or how many
this is
times
the
he's tried that?
This is the second
Did
time.
not age well.
First one, I crashed and burned. She's like, what about the second time? He's like, it's going good so far.
Yeah.
How about I tell you in the morning?
Yep.
And it's like, oh my God.
That would not have worked for me, though. Like, if you come up to me and start serenading me in this bar, I don't know you.
Well,
Nope.
I don't know you.
I'm jumping off the ship.
to be fair,
So
most of the ladies in there were only there to look for Navy, Army guys. That's what their thing was.
He sees a woman across the bar. Charlie, we learn.
She's not particularly dressed like she decided to come to a bar either. She's like, she got a little polo on, some
She was-
jeans, and then like a pink sweater.
She was meeting an older guy, like legitimately older.
Yeah.
He had gray hair.
You know who that guy was? That guy was an actual
Admiral?
fighter pilot. His real call sign was Viper.
Is that the real
Nice.
God, I want that call sign.
Hold on. His name is Pete Pettigrew.
Peter
That's
Pettigrew.
That's a
Peter Pettigrew.
Wow, talk about Harry Potter.
Wow.
Yep. So he is a real pilot.
I wonder if he was the real Viper. Oh, that's badass.
He's the real life Viper according to IMBD trivia.
God, that's so badass.
So
With the name of Peter Pettigrew, that's unfortunate.
no, Pete.
Oh, sorry.
Pete.
Don't you
Like
put
Pete Mitchell,
I think he came first.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
Pete
So
before the Pete?
she goes to the bathroom, and Tom Cruise follows her into a bathroom like a fucking creep and a half.
Well, now correct me if I'm wrong, and this isn't about it not being creepy. Did she give him a look before she got up and went that direction? Because they were staring at each other, and she gave something and then got up. I'm not saying that meant follow me to the bathroom.
Definitely not. She told him, "My guy's here."
I was
Yeah,
gonna
but
say,
she kept
was pretty
looking at him.
dismissive about it.
He kept looking at her.
Yeah.
No, that's fair.
Yeah.
I didn't catch it, and I watched
Okay.
this movie twice in the last
No,
2
no,
days.
that's fair. That's fair. I thought I saw something, and I was like, "Is that why he's
I'm
getting
pretty
up?"
sure it was her being like, "No, I'm here to meet somebody. Like, go fuck off."
Yeah, there was
And
no.
then she
signal.
got up and left,
Well,
and then
she
he's just like, "Well, I'm not done.
I'm gonna
Like,
follow
let
you
me
to
let
the
me try
bathroom.
this again."
Animal night, baby.
Oh, it's Animal Night.
So I'm
Eric
not
is so
sure, though.
disgusted.
But
That's
I
fair.
didn't get those vibes.
No.
But then she told Goose that they had a great time in the bathroom.
Yeah, your friend
So-
was really good because she knew what they were doing. Mm-hmm. They had some conversation before he went to talk to her about a bet or whatever the fuck. But she like Etta just said, she dismisses him.
Oh, yeah.
And the next morning they're in the hangar in class.
Wait. The bet. I remember the bet specifically because at the end of it, he's like, and it has to be a woman this time.
They have to have full cognizant recollection
You have
and then something
about
else.
carnal knowledge
Carnal
about them or
knowledge.
something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I think they also said has to be a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess there was a situation where they were somewhere else.
I guess
Maybe Thailand or something.
maybe
You
they were
know,
they were having a good time somewhere.
They've done this too many times.
I mean, what do you expect?
Also, he says something about even Goose could find a girl here or something, and we learn later Goose is actually married.
And faithful.
Yeah,
He's
So-
a good guy.
Goose was a good guy. So the next day, they're in class, they're in the hangar, and Michael Ironside is explaining to them that while they have military instructors at school, some of the instructors are civilian contractors. They are contracted through the Pentagon, and one of them is Charlotte Blackwood, I think was her character's full name. And in walks Charlie. And he says her call sign is Charlie. She is not military. You do not salute her.
But you have to give her the full recognition because of like the Pentagon and everything like that.
Right. She's going to tell the Pentagon what you do. So you want her to think you're doing a good job at this school. And she comes in and she's talking about a MiG. Is it a MiG-28?
Yep.
Can't do certain maneuvers at a certain speed.
They can't
inverted.
do a full inverted climb at whatever G's.
4Gs.
Maybe.
I want to say, because she said they know it can do it at 1G. And while she's talking, Maverick and Goose are having a little side conversation. She basically is like, you got something to share?
And
No.
then he's like, actually, your information's wrong. And she's like, oh, is it? He's like, yes. She's like, well, how can you tell? He's like, well, we've seen one do it. She's like, you've been around a MiG doing it? He's like, yeah, so. And then like he's like, it was here. And we were here. And he's like, you were inverted? And then Iceman's like, oh, bullshit. He's like, nah, man, we were inverted. It's cool. Goose is like, nah, we were inverted. It was cool.
Goose.
I got a Polaroid.
Yeah, that's what it is. That bullshit line from Iceman was improvised.
Oh, that's perfect.
He just did that while they were filming it, and they kept it in the movie.
I love it.
So all their laughs and everything were genuine.
See, that's what makes it so much better. Not saying it made the movie.
I mean, the cast was definitely good in this movie, but
Except for Tom Cruise.
well,
Wow.
they can't all be winners. But it's funny because Goose has this thing in the moment where they're like, "Yeah, she asked what you were doing," and Goose says, "We were working on communications. We were communicating with the enemy. That's all." And
we were making sure they didn't shoot at us while they were on our territory, so we didn't have a war start.
well, basically what they meant.
That's what that was.
But I like that they're like, we took a picture and we gave him the bird. And he goes, yeah, the bird, and he flips her off. And she goes, yeah, I know what the bird is, Goose. He goes, sorry, I hate when it does that. And he like folds his hand back down under the desk.
Because he made the same comment when they were about to sing to her. He was like this, I hate it when she loses it. Like, his comments are the best.
But she's asking them, like, where did this happen? Where did this inverted MiG situation occur? And Tom Cruise has that line of, well, I could tell you, but I'd have to kill you because it's classified. I don't think he actually tells her in this moment, which kind of annoys her, but she has this look of, so you're the one, huh? You're the guy who
I'm going to sleep with.
who, yeah, but also, like, this is the start of people treating him like he's special. And for me, I never got that vibe from him ever in the movie. Like, yeah, that was impressive. You flew a plane upside down right above another plane. They said they were like 2 meters away.
1.5.
Oh, Goose corrects, says 1.5. You're right.
Could you imagine going Mach whatever when you're 4, maybe 5 feet above another jet?
Right? While upside down.
They didn't give him they didn't create that reputation for him.
No, I don't
before
think
we get to this moment.
No.
So you're just supposed to accept what they're telling you. It's like, yeah, you're supposed to just accept he's just great. Or like, oh yeah, you're the guy that flew near that MiG, the only person who's done it, apparently.
Because like her whole thing is like MiG she's a specialist in MiGs. that's the vibe I was getting from every conversation she has with him, because she keeps asking him repeatedly, like, I want to hear about that MiG. It's important to my work.
Mm-hmm. She used that guy.
Oh, she knew what she was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Smart.
We go to our first hop training after this, and Maverick and Goose are hunting Jester.
Mm-hmm.
And another complaint I had about this movie is all the shots of when they're flying in the jets were so chopped up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I never really got a good sense of who was where.
I felt like they kept reusing the same footage.
They did.
They did.
Mhm.
No.
Like, a lot of the shots are just close-ups of the actors in the cockpits with their respirators on.
That's because that's
Or
all it was.
respirator
Right.
off.
That's all
Or
it was.
rarely
They were
respirator off.
They were just like probably one of those like things that shakes it.
Yeah,
to make
absolutely,
It feel
absolutely.
realistic.
Whereas I think in the sequel they actually went up in jets.
Yeah, they
with
paid-
cameras in the cockpits.
They paid, I forgot how many millions to actually, like, if you look at one of the takeoffs, he's grabbing, and it's like, oh, what's he holding? It's like, no, he's holding on because he's in the back seat while they're literally taking off. It's pretty badass.
But it's just I getting a sense of they were actually in the planes, I never really got.
Mm-mm.
That's all. And I get it's the 80s, they had to do with what they can only do so much.
Right.
But it just wasn't working for me. But this is another thing of Tom Cruise, or not another thing of, but Tom Cruise or Maverick and Goose are chasing Jester, and right when they're about to get a lock on him, he dives below the hard deck, which is like the limit of
Bitch.
which they can fly.
Mm-hmm. Bitch.
Yeah, he tries to cheat.
Yeah, bitch.
He's like, oh, they're about to get me. Let me make sure they can't. I'm going to break the rules.
And then guess what? Maverick breaks the rules, and then he's the one in trouble.
Yeah. Well, I guess technically,
Because
If-
rules
if-
of engagement.
yeah. If you're flying behind your instructor and your instructor dives below the hard deck, you should probably give up pursuit, and he doesn't. But at the same time, though, it really is a shitty thing because he knows he's about to get got.
Yeah, he doesn't want to let him have it.
It's like, oh, I'm safe. I touch safe. You can't get me. And after they get Jester, he tells them, go back to base, and he buzzes the tower.
That
For
was,
no reason.
That
For no
was
reason
that
whatsoever.
was the shitty thing.
And he calls in, requests permission to fly by, and they say no. And he does it anyway. And Goose is in the back like, man, come on.
Don't do it.
We just got here. Let's not
Yeah.
get in trouble already. And the guy in the tower spilled hot coffee all over his uniform.
Uh-huh.
Well, it's just like, it's really sad for Goose in the sense of like, he's unwillingly being dragged into these things.
Yeah, you're not in control at all.
And I'm like, he's still getting like these slaps on the wrist because of Tom Cruise. And I'm just like, my poor guy. My poor guy.
So when you have that one friend that's just dragging you in these bad situations.
That's Maverick. But they're in the locker room, and all the guys are talking about... two guys are saying they got pretty fast by Jester.
30 seconds.
Yeah, but Iceman and Slider,
Yeah.
they got him, so they won. And
And then they were like, oh, Maverick and Goose got him. He's like, bullshit, below the hard
Yeah,
line. It doesn't
yep.
count. He's like, my ass, it doesn't. It counts. I'm like, yeah, that's fair. It counts. In real life, he's down.
Jester tells them to meet them up in Viper's office. And when they go up there, the guy who spilled the coffee over himself is in there yelling, and he's like, I want people punished for this, and blah, blah, blah.
I need butts.
Yeah, he said
I
you
want
want
butts
butts.
now.
Yeah.
I was just like, bro, this movie is not beating the allegations.
That one was pretty bad when he was yelling, I want butts.
I want
was
butts.
like, man.
It's
But-
not beating the allegations.
But he comes out the office, and he bumps into someone else carrying coffee, and gets a whole new batch of coffee spilled all over
That's the
himself.
second time today. I need some butts.
I want butts.
Man was tripping.
I'm not gonna lie. That might be how I walk down the hallway at work. I just need some butts.
It's like Erica was saying earlier. A lot of people had some realizations while they were watching this movie.
Uh-huh.
Like, you know what? I want butts too.
Yep. But
I want those uniform butts.
Movie-
Amazon leggings.
the Amazon leggings.
Yeah.
I want those butts in Amazon leggings.
Everybody.
So when they go into Viper's office, Viper's basically like, look, you know the rules.
Mhm.
Jester flew below the hard deck. You followed him. He also gave a call sign for something, which I don't remember what it was, and you pursued anyway. Care to tell me why you did that?
Oh, he gave the call sign to stop because he was going below hard deck. Apparently, they said he told them he was going below the hard deck, so they would call off.
Yeah, he said some call sign, but
I don't remember hearing it.
I don't remember hearing it either.
You know why? Because he's a bitch. Jester's a bitch that can't fly. I'm joking. He's a fucking instructor. He's great.
But he did in this moment.
Yeah.
Cheat them. But they explained basically what I said a few minutes ago, that they were right on his tail. He realized he was about to get got, and he flew below the hard deck to fly into safety. Mm-hmm. And Maverick says he didn't see any danger. They were only below the hard deck for a few seconds. He took the shot anyway. Also, they buzzed the tower, which is I think what they're more in trouble for. If he
wouldn't have gone by the tower, everything would have been fine.
Yeah,
that was the problem.
Yeah, because Viper's basically telling them like, we have rules here for a reason, not just for the safety of the pilot, but for the people around you and the equipment.
They only care about the equipment.
They made that very apparent. It's like, this is a very expensive piece of equipment you're flying.
Didn't they say it was like $30 million or something?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Later on, they say it's $30 million.
So expensive.
And that's 1986 money.
Yeah, so it's like $1 billion now.
Yeah,
oh no, they are
a lot more in real money.
They like the not Raptors. Yeah, the Raptors. I think they are like $1 billion.
Damn.
I think. I don't know.
Yep.
But he tells them like, you're either going to follow the rules or you're going to get gone.
Mm-hmm.
Dismissed. We also learn here that Viper flew with
his dad.
Yeah, Maverick's father, whose name was Duke Mitchell.
Duke
and Pete. Duke Nukem.
Oh.
Maverick doesn't know what happened to his dad. We learn later on.
It's all confidential.
Right. Goose goes to see Maverick at his house, and he's like, look, man, I got a family. I got a kid. I really need to graduate. I really need this to succeed. And Maverick says, like, you're the only family I got. I'm not going to let you down.
I got the red flag right when he came there. And when they had that conversation, I was just like, this is a flag.
Mm-hmm.
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 There was an even bigger red flag when they first get to Top Gun in that first classroom scene when they meet Viper and Jester.
Oh, you kill me?
When they're leaving, Iceman makes a joke about them not being good pilots. I don't remember exactly what the joke is. And Goose laughs. He goes, oh, man, you kill me.
Yeah.
They
did it, and his favorite song was Great Ball of Fire.
Waving that fucking flag in your face.
That one.
Dude, yeah. His favorite song was Great Ball of Fire.
It was. Yeah, he was singing that a lot at that diner.
Had I been in that diner, I'm like, hey, can we cut some piano chords or something? Because
you're ruining my lunch.
I just want to eat.
So Maverick told him he's not going to let him down.
Mm-hmm.
And the next scene is Maverick. It looks like he's just in a classroom, and he's doing some homework, and Charlie walks up to him. And she's kind of flirting with him here a little bit.
Oh, hard.
About how she knew who he was the night they met, but she didn't say anything that she was a teacher. And she's kind of like wanting to just like see how it played out. Mm-hmm. She's like fucking with him pretty much.
Well, she didn't know how good he was. She always gets introduced to the top of the pilots, but she wants the top of the top if she's going to waste her time.
Oh, he's her top later.
Well, that's what she was like. She was teasing him out to see if he would follow through, I guess. I'm not going to say whatever.
I swore I thought she said she didn't date students in that scene, or did she not?
She says that in this scene, I think. Okay. Because when they first meet, we get no indication that she's an instructor.
Well, that's what I was saying. In this scene,
yeah,
I
in
swore
this
she was
scene,
like,
I think
I
she
don't
says
date
that.
students.
Yeah, because she's writing something down.
While she's writing down,
be at her place
at 5:30.
Sharp. Don't be late.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, I think I said to you, I was like, okay, both of them are fucking up in this instance.
Oh, 100%. Like, that's really...
Number one, lady, come on. And then number two, dog, this woman just told you, yeah, I don't date students. I don't do things like this. And then she just slides you her. It's like, all right, that was too easy.
Yeah.
Now you need to be like, yeah, you know what? I think I'm going to stay away from you
because
that was too easy.
That's what he did pretty much. Like, he kept egging her on. Or, like, they both kept, like, heating it up and then leaving.
This is just two crazy people that don't need to be mixing their crazy.
That's 100% right.
So
no,
if I was him, that was too easy.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? She's been with a lot of students. That's exactly what I would have thought. Like, she's been with a lot of students. I'm not even about to go after her.
I'm gonna catch the clap.
I feel like
It's 80s clap. It's different.
this relationship
Yeah.
It's more like
after
a golf
the
clap.
movie is like one of the most toxic situations in the world. Like they have definitely like smacked each other around. I'm pretty sure I feel like a gun was pulled out at some point. Like this is a toxic ass relationship.
This relationship is bad, and we'll see that near the end.
All right.
But she says to be there at 5 p.m. sharp. Don't be late.
He's playing volleyball.
Yeah,
In jeans.
As you do.
that shit looks so uncomfortable. You're running around, diving in the sand. You got tight jeans on. Why? Just put on some shorts,
I do
man.
everything
Because
about
he's got to
jeans.
show off his bod, bro.
Yeah, but he's covering his legs.
Hey, listen,
Put
man.
some shorts on.
Well,
Tom
to
Cruise is
make
probably
him-
worried about his legs.
He was skipping leg
To
day.
make him look taller, I think.
Oh.
Because like the guys he's playing around are all like 6'2", and he's like
He's short.
5'6".
That
Tom
man,
Cruise is like 5'6", 5'7".
Yeah,
He's a short king.
Goose was the only one who had the shirt on.
and some cute shorts.
He had those whatever generation the hoochie
basketball
daddy
shorts?
Yeah,
Hoochie
man.
daddy shorts. Yeah.
I'm here for it. Like I want a pair.
Goose
just
was
for
just
that
like, nah,
relaxation.
bro, I'm married. Y'all ain't about to see all this. He kept the shirt
Only
on.
Meg Ryan gets to see all this.
What a modest man.
But
He
they
didn't want to embarrass everybody.
there you go.
That's what it was. Goose
got
is like
He had a sick back tattoo. He
Right on his
With
lower-
porn stash.
Yeah.
right on that lower
right.
back.
Oh,
He pulled that stash off though.
He did.
Oh, absolutely.
I wish I
Yeah.
could. I wish I
it
could.
wasn't bad. I usually don't care for it, but it wasn't.
Because it looks like a cop stash, but it worked for him.
It did.
Yeah.
You don't want to talk about a cop mustache. Tom Skerritt at the end of the movie
Oh
when Tom
my
Cruise
God.
goes to see him.
Yeah.
He puts on those big aviator sunglasses. He puts on that hat. He's got that mustache. Look like straight out of a cop movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like Police Academy, pretty much.
Yeah. But so they're playing against Iceman and Slider. They win, and Tom Cruise like, oh man, I gotta go.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that guy who just randomly decides to pose?
That's Slider.
That's Slider.
Oh, yeah. In the middle of the, like, he makes the shot and then he's like,
He does like a bodybuilder pose.
He does.
Yeah.
He went. Hey.
Yeah.
And the way he like sucked it on, I was like, that man's training. Like, cause he went.
it was like, what
Wasn't
was
even that big, like compared to
He
like.
was cut as fuck though.
Oh yeah.
had
I'd
to throw
hope
that
so
in.
if they're in the.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So they're Maverick is deciding to leave. He hops on his motorcycle and he heads towards
Hits like-
Charlie's house.
Hits
Running
Mach
late.
5.
Yeah, and I think
God
this
damn.
is where we get the first time they play "Take My Breath Away," and that gets played 4 fucking times, 3 of which
Or the
happen
next
in like
5
10 minutes.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah,
Yes.
Oh, I zoned it out.
hating it.
I zoned it out.
They play it twice, and then they play sitting on the dock of the bay for 5 seconds, and then they play it again.
I was also mad how this man's late for dinner, and then it's just like, I'm gonna take a shower
The audacity!
In your house.
in your house
That
Like,
I've never
I'm
been
gonna-
to before.
I'm gonna go take a shower. Like, no.
Yeah, because Charlie's like, no, I'm hungry. I want to eat.
I've already been waiting for you in this moment.
You and your sandy balls go sit over there.
Oh,
We're
God.
gonna eat.
You know what he was trying to do.
To be
He was try-
naked?
no, he was trying
Oh.
to get her in the shower with him.
Oh, he was trying to get naked though.
Yeah. That's 100%. He was like, can I take one? No, I'm hungry. I bet.
Take my breath away.
But there. Charlie mentioned something about she might be leaving Top Gun because she's trying to get promotion in DC.
She has a dog, and we don't get to meet the dog. We see the dog for 2 seconds through the door.
Trifling.
Biggest mistake of this movie.
Yes!
You don't get to see the dog. Big fluffy white dog too.
Cutie.
Look kind of like Corey's old dog. They're listening to "Sitting on the Dock of the Bay" by Otis Redding, and Tom Cruise has this.
Heart to heart with her.
Yeah, because he says it reminds him of his parents. His parents like to play this song, and
You
his-
can see the pain. Like, he did good acting on that. Like, you could see.
I mean, yeah, he got definitely sentimental here.
Mhm.
But he mentions that his father disappeared in
65.
November 5th, 1965, and his mom died not too long after that. But she really liked this song. He doesn't know what happened to his dad to this day.
Oh, yeah, because she was asking him. He's like, well, with your Pentagon clearance, I honestly thought you could answer questions for me. Like, he's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
They're both using each
They
other.
were both using each other.
Because she says, I didn't read that far.
That's the vibe that I was getting. So they're both using each other.
Because they're both crazy.
Maybe.
And he kind of finishes this scene by getting up, and she's like, where are you going? He goes, I'm going to go take a shower.
It was just cat and mouse.
That's cat and mouse.
Oh, they were just playing with each other, that's all. Then we immediately go to their, they have a little elevator flirt, and it's maybe like the next day or some shit.
It's literally the next day because he just got done working out or whatever. She's like, looks like you need a shower again. He's like, ha! That weird, like that.
Just very accurate, though.
That weird, like, did you also, like, the amount of crookedness of his teeth? Every time he smiled, the only time they were straight was when his head was, like, at a 45-degree angle.
God damn.
Did y'all not see it?
No.
I couldn't stop.
I mean,
every time it was locked in.
I did think he looked like he had little
I
baby
give him
teeth.
props for that, though.
Roasting his ass.
A lot of them
I'm
do
not
get
gonna
their
roast
teeth
it.
fixed, so I give him props. For
I mean,
that.
I didn't think
got
there was
him.
anything wrong with his teeth,
no.
but they do definitely look different than they do, like, now.
Oh, yeah, he got them
Oh,
fixed.
did he finally
Yeah.
get them fixed?
Because like,
He
he
got-
looks like
he
in this
hurt a
movie,
lot.
he's got, not buck teeth, but his front two teeth are
People talked
Kinda
about
little
it.
more
Snaggle
pronounced.
tooth,
Yeah.
Is
People
it like
talked
Ben
about it a
Affleck
lot.
when he had his little baby teeth before he got the veneers?
Yeah.
I don't think he looked like that.
Oh, okay.
That's one
No,
of the
he
No,
has-
they were just
supposed to do.
slanted.
He has one tooth that just protrudes more and it's a little crooked. Yeah.
I didn't even notice that.
I didn't look at him too often because I was like,
I don't particularly
Oh,
care.
I
for
looked
his
right
face
at him.
either.
I was like, elevator scene.
You look different than you did in
Was
Minority
this your
Report.
Gay Awakening movie?
Oh, 100. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. I was like, whew,
Well,
got me sweating.
That little
my breath away.
bar just moved a little
Yep.
closer to the other side for Corey.
Well, what cracked me up, I thought this was going to be like that. I'd forgotten a lot, and I was like, is this the scene where they like start and then like the other person gets on the elevator? And I'm like, this, oh no, it's not
I
gonna
also
be
thought
now.
that there was going to be like an elevator scene where
if
they
this
just go
was
at
filmed
it.
now,
When he held
there
the-
would have been.
Right.
Yeah, when he held the button, I was like, oh, he's in.
Mm-hmm.
And then he did the, cat and mouse, and he leaves, and she's like,
But also, when he leaves, they start playing Take My Breath Away again. Which is like the
Because-
third time we've heard it in
you
the
know
last
why?
few minutes.
You know why? Because he took that breath away.
He sure did.
Took my breath away.
They're like, we're getting our money's worth on this.
Uh-huh.
oh yeah, they yeah.
She also mentions in that scene that she wanted to hear about the MiG. It was important to her work again. She
couldn't-
keeps bringing up this MiG.
Did he ever tell her the information?
Well, I couldn't
Not that we
understand.
saw.
Probably not.
He can't, and to be fair, she has the clearance to hear it. She's got more clearance than he does.
Yeah, we never
I think
get
she.
the full conversation.
I honestly couldn't tell she used that as like a ploy when people are around to justify her being around him.
Oh, yeah,
Maybe.
why they're spending so much time together?
No,
And
I just
then-
want to hear about that MiG.
But, or did they? Because remember when I think it felt like she got the information
When he was 9 inches deep in her?
around that time.
My man.
I wish.
And she was talking about it in a class, and they're just like, "Oh, do you think he was being dangerous or blah blah blah?"
That's like the next scene, but it might
So-
be the MiG.
I thought it sounded like she had all the information and was accessing it, and then they asked that question of like, "Do you think he's still a good pilot
Well-
for doing what he did?"
I believe that's the last time she mentions it is
Yeah.
in that classroom. So by then they might have gotten the information because they make the simulation.
Right.
This
Off of his.
that's like pre-Atari graphics on this computer screen.
Which feels appropriate for him getting pissed
Yeah,
about it.
because she mentions in that
Ooh, easy.
easy Coco easy. But we're almost in that scene
Yeah.
because
Oh yeah, we're pretty much there.
Yeah, we're almost there.
Yeah.
That's the next one.
yeah. Well, actually, the next scene is we meet Meg Ryan's character Carol, who is Goose's
yeah.
wife. They go pick her up from the airport.
Oh,
And-
dang! I thought that was after.
No. And as they're walking out, she's got their son, who's probably like 3, 4.
Yeah, it's
Her and Maverick were a
Two.
little too close.
Two.
A little too comfortable with each other.
Yeah, I was like, because like his arm was around
all
her,
around
and
her.
I was like,
and they were like this close to each other talking with their heads down. I was like, bruh.
I mean, I just assumed they had been friends for a very long time.
I've
Well,
known
that's-
Jeremy for 15 years. I don't think I've touched him.
Yeah, but everyone expresses their friendship differently.
She could be a very physical touch person.
But I think she also made comments though about him, like, oh yeah, Maverick, like, but like, no. That's...
She said that she would wish that she could steer Charlie away from him, but she loves him so much, and also she knows his. She didn't say it, but like she pretty much was like hinting on she knows how good he wants to be, but he just lets
Or maybe
his
Goose
ego.
just likes the gossip, pues coito, like.
Oh,
He's
Goose definitely does gossip because that's his wife. He's
Yeah.
going to tell his wife everything.
Goose does gossip because as they're leaving the airport, Carol's like, Goose said you were in love with your instructor.
And he's like, oh, he said that? He's like, I didn't say that shit.
Yeah, but Carol's like, yeah, you did. Baby, you told me that.
He's like,
You go,
hey,
I told you that was a secret.
Hey, shut up. Hey, don't tell about the other stuff we do.
But they're very loving as they're
Yeah.
leaving this airport.
Yeah.
Then it's that training class with the bad looking simulation.
Oh, Lord.
And it's Viper and Charlie, but Viper has this very important line of, look, what Maverick did was a good maneuver, but it was a bad thing to do because it was very risky. And he throws a fucking temper tantrum as he's leaving.
Well, they also say, do you use this time right now to avert and leave and hightail it out? And then when they say, yeah, that's a smart play, they're like, too late, you're dead. Wait, Tom Cruise is the only one that made it out alive. It's like, what are you saying? Like, stop defending the bad things you want to make them bad things.
That's basically like, yeah, it was a good maneuver, but it was a bad maneuver.
It's the only way you survive, so don't take it.
And he says he has some line of, if you think up there, you're dead. You can't really think in the moment. You just have to act.
Because if you do, you hesitate. That 1 second of hesitation gives that other world-class pilot with a world-class jet the second to kill you.
Right. But when he's leaving, he's ignoring Charlie. She's calling behind him. And he just hops on his motorcycle. And she's like trying to talk to him. And he's revving the engine. He's like, I can't hear you. Sorry, just can't hear. And he takes off, and she's chasing him in her car.
I love when they finish though. Like when they get when that came out bad. When they,
yeah, Corey, you like it when they finish, huh, big boy?
I love it when like he goes over the street.
They pass right through an intersection.
Yeah, and she goes behind him, almost wrecking 2 cars, and he's like, Jesus Christ, what are you doing?
You say I'm reckless.
Yeah, I mean, fair.
She's like, you're going to let me finish my sentence.
It's like, you're worried about me flying a jet. You're over here in a Porsche, just screaming through.
I liked her old car.
Oh, that was beautiful.
She had like a 1950s convertible.
I almost thought they were in San Francisco with the way that road was.
I thought the same thing. I legitimately thought the same thing.
It reminded me of a car from like Indiana Jones.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. It was a nice little car.
One the Nazis would have had. Not saying she is, but like it was just that style.
But she says something about how you're a reckless pilot, and she says that's what she says. She doesn't want anyone to know she's falling for him.
She's like, I couldn't say what I wanted to because I knew they'd all see through me and know I followed for you.
Yeah, but falling for what, lady?
The cat and mouse.
It was that at
He
that
teased.
moment when he like goes running away and he's like revving the engine, and I was just like, this is why you don't mess around with children, man. You were 30 years old. Don't be fucking around with this 23-year-old.
She was acting the same way though.
But it's nothing that they show in this film is any kind of building relationship where you can say you love them. We don't see that, so it just comes across as crazy.
How did we get here?
Oh no, it is. Oh no, 100%. Like there was no like sustenance.
Yeah, because I was like, how long have they been interacting with each other? And Jeremy's like, I don't know.
The whole movie takes place over like 8 weeks.
Yeah, it's an 8-week program.
Oh, yeah,
So
no.
we're like maybe 3 weeks in.
That's that hot and heavy. That's that hot and heavy real quick and burns out.
But also we see
Less than a month.
Less than a month. We don't see any kind of blooming relationship really, except for he goes to have lunch with her. They're in a classroom. They're in a classroom. They're in a classroom. And
She's just swept up in the moment.
they're in an elevator together.
She's got this hot dude
Yeah, it just
that's shorter than she is.
all this.
It doesn't feel genuine.
No,
it's not.
Yeah,
There's
exactly. It
nothing
does not feel
about this
genuine at all.
relationship, you know?
Well, to be fair, it definitely comes out near the end.
You know what
True.
it feels like? It feels like a high school relationship where they're only allowed to see each other in class.
To be fair, he's a young fighter pilot that's supposed to be 23.
Well,
Yeah.
Tell
Cruise
me.
was 24.
But
or
I feel
something.
like he.
Oh,
is
so he
supposed
might
to
have
be-
been even younger,
I feel
like
he's
maybe
supposed to be
straight
playing
21.
older, though.
I don't think
No?
so.
I think he's probably supposed to be playing pretty young.
If we go by Tom Cruise's real birthday, which is 1962, then his character would have been about 3 years old when his father died. So that picture that is showed of 1960.
September 1965.
1965, that was like right before his dad went missing, so he would have been 3-ish. So I think he's playing the right age. If we're in 86,
And that's fair with the immaturity.
yeah, his
And
frontal
when-
lobe's not even developed yet.
Right.
Not saying it's excusable, but
No.
it explains.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we have our one sex scene of the movie.
It's a good sex scene. I
Or-
will give him that.
Oh,
No.
let's pump the brakes. So much tongue. Like, you want to talk about this movie's all these other things. I tell you
bad.
what, if I've ever seen somebody suck the soul out of somebody, that's what just happened. And he's like this. He's like, I tell you what, I was like this, bruh, calm it down. She's got to breathe. She's got to
Shit,
breathe.
It was her too, because there's a scene where he pulls away and her tongue is just out, and she's just like just flicking the thing.
giving me
And then licks up his neck
Oh.
and chin, and
Yeah,
I
no,
was like, "What?"
I feel like he was probably the person that was like, this is how we have to do it. Because we all know he was
No,
that.
I was like, they had to be somewhere. There's probably somebody in the back going, "More tongue."
We need all the tongue. If you
God, can you
could.
get that PA off the set? He just keep shouting more tongue.
There's that
Not wet enough. Add more saliva.
it's too dry.
We need it more drippy.
There's that one guy. They're like this. Do you have problems? I just really want to see more tongue.
It reminds me of that. Have y'all seen the trailer for Bad Guys 2?
Yes.
There's a scene where the snake is making out with the bird.
Wait, a snake and a bird?
It's an animated movie. They're animals.
Oh, I think you were talking about Bad Boys.
And like the bird's face is
Bad
like
boy.
halfway into the snake's mouth, and I'm like, oh yeah, this kind of reminds me of that.
One of the characters are like, why are they kissing like that?
Yeah.
But yeah, that sex scene.
Oh, but
It
that
was
sex-
hot and heavy.
That sex scene's also topped off with our final. I want to say our final performance of "Take My Breath Away,"
Thank God.
where I think we finally get actual words.
He finally took the breath away.
Oh, he did.
Laughed it out of her.
I mean, that's a good representation. That is 100%.
In my notes, I just wrote "slam ass."
You know what? If that instructor was there or that tower operator, he would have gotten all the butt he wanted.
Oh yeah.
It took me a second to remember what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Give me all the butt.
He was so mad.
I want all the butts. So we go to our next hop training, which I believe is hop 19. And this is where we have the I have a need, the need for speed line.
This is the moment.
And they're up there, and it mentions that Mav is 2 points behind Iceman. So Iceman's still in the lead. And as they're
because their first takedown was under the hard line, so it did.
so they're up there with Jester, and suddenly Viper joins in, and everyone's kind of shocked. They're like, "Oh shit, Viper's in a plane!" And
Oh yeah.
Maverick is supposed to be covering Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
He's supposed to be his wingman. They're right behind Jester, and
He's pretty much got a lock on Jester,
yeah, but
much, but-
Maverick says, "I want Viper."
and Goose is like, "Nah, Hollywood's your wingman.
No,
you don't
we're
leave
his
him."
wingman.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be covering him. And he goes, "No, I want Viper." And he sees him off in the distance. And you can hear Hollywood say, "Don't leave me. You're supposed to be covering me." In which
then-
Maverick says, "Oh, you look good, man. I'm going to get Viper." And he just fucking...
And he goes.
He does it.
Hollywood's like,
Yeah.
"Man, fuck you." Which I never understood what happened with that, like how he broke away from Hollywood.
What you mean?
Because Jester came back and got...
Oh, Jester might have lost Hollywood.
Yeah.
We don't see
that's,
it.
That's kind of.
That's what I was wondering what happened. I was like, how did you lose him? You were pretty much locked in.
I think they mentioned it that once he broke off to chase after Viper, somehow Jester have got behind Hollywood.
I mean, the MiGs were fast.
Yeah, so he must have got behind them, took him out, then followed them, and that's how he got Maverick.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so they played him.
Yeah.
They knew he was gonna take off after Viper.
Yep.
And also, like, the way Viper was describing the whole time, tell me it didn't sound like when Maverick was, like, trying to get anybody else or whatever. It's like he's leading him everywhere he wanted to go. Viper was in full control, and he really showed that he was the top. And even Maverick was like, guys,
They had
he's
Maverick number.
good.
Yeah, because in this moment of him chasing Viper, Jester sneaks up behind Maverick and Goose, and he gets them. They're out. After they land and they're in the showers, Jester comes up to Maverick, and he like gets right in his face, and he does that great Michael Ironside voice, but he's like, that was some of the most amazing flying I've seen today. Right until the part you got killed. Mm-hmm. He tells him, never leave your wingman.
Right.
And Iceman, this is where Iceman has the genuine moment of not being an arrogant prick, but it felt like he was trying to set Maverick on the right path, where he's like, you're flying. There's nothing wrong with your flying, but it's your attitude. Mm-hmm. You're too arrogant. You're making mistakes.
And to be fair, though, when you've had somebody being arrogant the whole time, both sides, it's hard to get that first genuine emotion. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to receive it, because you're like, are you being genuine, or are you still being an arrogant prick because you won?
They are rivals too, so you don't want to hear that shit from him.
No,
Right.
because you want to beat him.
Yeah.
You want your name on that plaque.
But even the way he delivers the line,
You can feel it.
Iceman doesn't sound like he's trying to be an asshole. He sounds like he's trying to be genuine with him.
Exactly.
Like, I'm trying to offer you some advice to get better. This is not fuck the rivalry.
Yeah, there was no ego there.
No, that's it. No ego.
Yeah.
I felt like Iceman didn't have an ego the whole time.
He didn't.
He was like just being a chill guy. Like, we're in this together. We're competing. But
No,
like,
he
to
had
be
it at
fair-
the beginning.
yeah.
To be fair, everybody was just like, because Maverick's like, yeah, I'm the best, and then they're like, no, that guy over there, Iceman, he's the best, and Iceman's just like, yes, and he was apparently.
The only time I ever felt any kind of super arrogance from Iceman is at the beginning in the Admiral's Club.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
But I mean, other than that, I never really got any kind of arrogance from him.
He was just that guy that he let it keep speaking for itself.
Yeah.
Not arrogance, just...
And then pretty much everybody else too was like, yeah, that dude right there is the best pilot, except Maverick was literally the only person who was like, nah, fuck that guy.
No, I'm the best. Why are they not praising me?
Yeah,
I'm the new guy here.
Well, they're all new guys.
That's true.
They're
That is
all
true.
from different places.
They're all new. That's true. But Maverick tells Goose, he's like, I should have known better. That won't happen again.
Heard that before.
just the whole time.
It doesn't happen again, though.
Well, yeah, because some circumstances don't allow it to happen again.
Well, no, he follows Iceman on that second one.
Okay.
He never left Iceman. He actually was asking, well, we'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is where Maverick pulls out that picture of his dad from like 1950,
1960.
1960.
1965.
Yeah, it's like early 1965, or right before his father went missing.
Yeah, it was like 2 months before.
Yeah. Then we have the scene at the diner where we're hanging out with Charlie and Carol and the son, whose name I don't remember.
Bradshaw.
It's I just watched the second one.
Rooster.
That is his call sign.
Bradley Bradshaw?
Yes, Bradley.
Is that really his name?
I
Yeah.
think so.
It is.
That's terrible.
Brad.
Bradley Bradshaw?
Come here, Brad.
Or it's like Bradford Bradshaw? It's something with a B.
Brad.
Big.
And Brad.
I would.
Bradley Bradshaw.
There's worse names out there.
Oh,
I
yeah.
guess.
There are.
Yeah, Bradley Bradshaw. That's his name.
Horrid.
So they're at dinner with Carol and Charlie, and Goose is being really annoying in this scene because they're in this small diner and he's just sitting at his piano, wailing on it, playing Great Balls of Fire with the kid on top of the piano. And Erica said while we were watching this, if I was in this restaurant, I'd be asking someone to tell them to keep it down.
Yeah.
Because you're ruining my experience here. Because there's a couple sitting right behind Goose, not saying a word, and he's just, goodness gracious, Great Balls of Fire.
To be fair, it looked like a typical beach shack where
It looked like a beach shack.
I don't think most people like were too focused on him being drunk and playing on the piano, but you never know.
That's what I was focused on.
Killing my vibe.
It was a lot.
But Carol basically tells Charlie that
She needs to fall for him.
yeah, but Maverick is kind of like a playboy. Because she also says something about, doesn't he ever make you feel embarrassed? And he says, no, Goose can't embarrass me. And then he says, I'm going to go embarrass myself at the piano with Goose. And Carol tells Charlie that she's never seen Maverick like this. Basically, something like...
He's off the market.
Yeah.
And he's in love with you.
Yes. He's in love
In
with
these
you.
3 weeks, these 4 weeks.
Hey, stuff happens fast. All right. Some people just get caught up in the moment and they
fast.
really want to take that breath away.
But I like because Carol yells at Goose. She's like, "Take me to bed, babe, or lose me forever."
Yeah,
and he's like, "You point the way." I definitely could feel the romance.
They had a
between
great
them.
relationship.
They had good chemistry, the two of them, for the little bit of screen time they had together.
And I do
would-
like that line.
I wouldn't expect anything less from like that genuine of a character, and then like how much of or the little amount that we saw of her, like they were exactly how it should be.
Yeah.
Just all love.
I wish they were the main people instead of Charlie and Maverick.
Yeah, I
then
like
you-
Goose and Carol way more.
You couldn't have a good like military. It'd be too much love.
Goose is kind of like the funny man.
Honestly,
100%.
it was barely a military movie. They were in
I
training.
know.
They were in training school the whole time.
That's
That
still
being
military.
said, you wouldn't have a dynamic character change for the main character. If Goose was the main character, he just would have been a static character the whole time because he was
Yeah.
already well put together. He was a good family man. He was loyal. He had a great woman.
He's the one that has to bring that out of
Yeah,
the
We
main
could have killed
character.
Maverick.
Then he was a great Rio. So he wasn't the pilot. The movie, like Etta was saying before, it was all about, male ego. And Maverick was just like, oh man, I'm this amazing fighter pilot. And so you go look into the movie and you're like, don't y'all want to see a movie about being the best fighter pilot ever? And just like, yeah, I want to see that movie. Not, don't you want to see a movie about being a great family man? No, I don't want to see that.
The best backup guy.
No, not me.
No,
but
but
just
like, but
in general,
better-
people
No,
probably
that's a
have
good
that vibe.
that's a good analogy.
Yeah, but
But
better
yeah.
movie, right?
Depending.
We kill Maverick, right? Right? We kill Maverick, right? And we force Goose to become the pilot.
Yeah,
so
but
it's him.
Who
moving from-
saves Iceman at the end if Maverick dies?
Goose!
No one.
Top Gun Endgame.
Yeah.
No, that's why Goose is in the back seat. He's not good enough to be a pilot.
I was gonna say, can the Rios pilot though? Like, would they also?
Be able to fly.
Be
a
able-
plane.
I actually don't
I
know.
think they can fly one, but I don't.
So what happens if like
die.
they get shot? The pilot gets shot. Can they still fly?
They
The
die.
There's no way they can get into the cockpit.
They
'Cause there's
pull that ejector handle.
There's no secondary.
Oh, there. Okay.
Yeah, they're only radar and communications.
Maybe they should have installed some secondary thing to, save a life.
How would they see? They got a seat in front of them.
True.
You just eject the guy in front of you out.
Figure it out.
Then you
Bob.
get ejected
Nah.
pretty much. Then you're going box speed with no hood.
You'll be fine.
Whiplash.
It's just a little wind.
Figure it out. I don't know.
They're gonna make one where you're on y'all are side by side now instead of you're behind that guy. Now
That
y'all
would
are
be
side by side.
that would
So
be
you just
hilarious.
They
Shoot
need
that
to
guy out.
do the Star Wars. One at the bottom, one at the top.
No, I mean Tom Cruise did do that.
One guy's upside down the whole time.
Yeah.
Hey, can we
Either
turn the plane
way.
over for a minute?
Yeah,
Goose was a good support.
Oh,
for
yeah,
Maverick.
100%.
That's character.
great support.
The movie wouldn't have been what it
Like
was.
out of
without
all
him.
the Rios, like Goose was the Rio.
Oh yeah, I would.
So
I think a lot of that has to do with the fact we just didn't get to meet really
The rest
any
of
of the
them,
rest.
yeah.
We don't really
I
get
mean,
to meet.
some of them were like Slider was pretty cool, and
But
That
I'm
one
just saying. I'm just saying we don't get
Yeah.
to know them
That's true.
like we got to know Goose.
yeah,
Right.
Because they weren't the best friend character.
I feel like we know Goose better than we know Maverick.
That's true.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah. I know I definitely like Goose more than Maverick.
So unfortunately, they had to build him up to bring him down.
And that's where we're heading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're in another hop sequence.
The final one. This
Well,
is
after-
the test.
Before that, because they go home and then they drive the motorcycle out somewhere and decide to make out.
Well, he's gonna.
randomly.
Yeah, he's taking her home, and then she gives the same line that
Carol said.
Carol said.
Take me
She's
to
like,
bed or lose me forever.
"Take me to bed or lose me forever." Oh,
It was a
and
good
then
line.
just
It's a good line.
I want
It is.
to lick your soul out of your body.
Take my breath away.
But we're in that hop, and Maverick and Goose are Iceman and Slider's wingmen. They're following Jester. Iceman is trying to get a lock on him, but he can't. And Maverick keeps telling him, like, look, I have a shot. Just pull away so I can get that shot.
even Goose is like, "Iceman, get out of the way." They gave him like over a minute to
'Cause
get
he's
that
counting
shot.
down.
He's like 20 seconds.
10
10
seconds.
seconds.
5
They're
seconds.
like, get out of the way. You're not doing it. And he's like, I can't get it. So he pulls out.
And this part sucks. But it's severely foreshadowed earlier in the movie because when Iceman pulls away, he causes a jet wash, which I don't know how to properly explain that.
What I wonder,
Like the
I should've-
airflow?
Yeah, I should have looked it up. I think what it is either extra, like too much air or whatever, or just not enough, and it hit one engine and pretty much, I think, like kind of like clogged it, stalled it out, kind of thing. So then you have another engine that's going full throttle, and that's what created that tailspin.
And then they lose both engines. And Maverick and Goose are going down. Maverick is telling Goose that he is pinned forward in the cockpit, I guess from the force of them spinning out. And Goose needs to pull the ejection handle. And when Goose finally gets the handle, it fires, the canopy of the plane flies off, and we see their seats launch out. But for whatever reason, when Goose's seat launched out, he flew back and flies right into the canopy.
Well, I wonder what happened, like if the canopy got delayed
When I
or
read
hung
it,
up
the canopy hadn't cleared further enough.
for his seat.
Yeah, because it ejected all the way, but the thing didn't
He
clear
went
enough
straight
right
into
into
it.
it. Broke his neck on impact.
Yeah. And then they land in the ocean, and Maverick is holding Goose's body, and the rescue team are like, "Sir, you gotta let him go. We gotta get him up. You gotta let him go."
Couldn't imagine, because that, like he said, that's his only family ever. Partially because of his bad boy attitude.
Yeah. It shows Maverick in the hospital in the infirmary.
Can we double back real quick?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Real quick. I looked up the jet wash scene.
Oh, thank you.
What's his name? Because me and Ed had the same conversation because we were just like, we don't know what really happened and who screwed up. Because we were just like, did Iceman screw up? Or did, what's his name, screw up? And I was like, I really feel like Maverick screwed up because he probably should not have been
That close.
where he probably shouldn't have been that close up on Iceman trying to take the shot. Probably so he could get the points needed to beat Iceman because he was supposed to be Iceman's wingman, but he's a terrible wingman, which is literally what this whole movie about. From
It's
the jump.
him being a terrible wingman.
From the beginning of the movie, he was a terrible wingman, and it's not until the end when he finally. But anyway,
I don't think he was too close, though.
he was because he got caught in what's his name? He got caught in Iceman's jet wash. So because he was so close to him, when he did disengage, he got hit basically by the exhaust coming out of Iceman's jet.
Yeah, but
because
it
of how close
happened.
up on him
It
he was
happens
on.
later too, and he wasn't too close.
When he bailed out and got caught up in it.
Yeah, in their next one. Or
No,
the
but
next-
they never get this close though.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't matter. I don't think
Well, he
he
you're not
was
supposed to fly that
close.
close to somebody, the back of somebody else's
They shouldn't
jet.
have both been gunning for the
Yeah.
shot.
Maverick being the wingman, Maverick should have been hanging back and waiting
Right.
for Iceman to move out of the way, then moved in to make the kill. He was trying to position himself so he could make the kill, and all he was waiting for was Iceman to move out of the way. So he was too close.
Yeah.
Is basically what I'm thinking Jeremy just read.
He was too close. He was like right up on him, just like, I could make the shot. You just need to move. So when he got out of the way, I guess it was because of how he got out of the way. Maverick's jet got hit by the
exhaust fumes.
yeah, literally the exhaust coming out of Iceman's
because
jet.
he I guess he went.
Yeah.
So basically, like his jet lost all of its oxygen.
Yep.
That's why the engine stalled out.
So because of it basically just hit him, and then they went into a spin, and then everything else happened. So apparently, that actually happened. Something like that actually happened during the filming. Yeah, you were about to say that?
I was saving it for the end, but yeah, I have something pulled up. If you want to go ahead and read it.
Art Scholl.
Did someone die?
Yes.
Yeah, a stunt pilot.
Yep.
When they were filming the movie, stunt pilot basically died doing the same type of like flat spin that
Oh,
they
to
went
show
into.
it like to make it seem like it was.
Well, I think he.
I think it was a coincidence that it
Yeah.
was a similar crash.
Oh, damn.
So I have a little thing on IMDb trivia. That's how I found out about Art Scholl.
Yeah, apparently the one filming the scene entered the same flat spin and could not get out of it, and they didn't find him.
Oh shit.
So what I have was, it says he was killed during production of the movie. He was 54. He died when his Pitts S2 camera plane failed to recover from a flat spin and plunged into the Pacific Ocean. Scholl's last words over the radio were, "I have a problem. I have a real problem." The exact cause of crash was never determined, and neither the aircraft nor Scholl's bodies were ever recovered. And the film is dedicated to him.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
I did not know that until right before we sat down to record. I didn't notice the dedicated to him
I guess he
credits.
probably couldn't get out of the cockpit, and with the weight of the plane, it probably just sank before they could get there. Fuck.
Yep.
Yeah.
So did they put that scene in before or after? Like, did they dedicate that scene to him?
No, it sounds like it was a different type of plane.
It was during the filming.
I mean, I imagine he was just flying a plane to get some shots of the actual jets.
I got
So I
you.
imagine he was in a very different kind of aircraft.
True, but
But yeah, the same type of flat spin apparently.
oh goodness.
Yeah. So
God almighty.
so that's what happened to Maverick and Goose. Viper comes in to see him, and he's like, "Look, when I was in Vietnam, we had 18 aircraft, and we lost 8 of them,
Yeah, either 8 came back or they lost 8. One of the two.
something like that." And he goes, "You're gonna lose people."
What was it, flying with George H.W.?
Well, no, it was just dogfighting was a whole lot more. Oh no, I'm thinking of a different. I'm thinking of another scene.
He was doing his best to try and console him, and it was not good.
He wasn't doing a good job
At
though.
all.
Just
He was-
let him go.
he
You
was-
just
he
gotta
was-
let him go.
He was
Like,
doing that
bruh.
thing of, yeah, it's fucked up, but you got to let go to keep doing your job kind of consoling, not the actual, hey, I know you lost the guy that's practically your brother kind of consoling.
But, like, what is wild is this happened, like, 2 hours ago.
It just happened.
Like,
Right.
he was holding the body in the water, and I'm like, they're like, just let it go. And I'm like, give him, like, a week.
Yeah,
you know?
let him-
Like,
They can't.
Yeah,
It's
he ain't had a
military.
week.
Like
That's
that's
cool.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. Like, it does sound harsh, but you gotta think every mission they're more than likely accepting the fact that they themselves will die. So you gotta be able, sadly, military style, just not have those emotions. I'm not saying it's right, but that's
I kind of got to witness something similar to that. I was telling Etta about when I first went to basic, like when we had just got there. One of the dudes that I was there with, he was actually my bunkmate dude that was sleeping in the bed above me. His sister died like the day we got there. And the person that had to come and give him the news, because we didn't have our phones or anything like that, so they just sent, it was some sergeant they sent to give him the news. The way this dude delivered this news to him it was worse than the way that the guy was telling
I can only
Maverick just now.
imagine.
It was worse than that. He was just like, yeah, stuff like that happens, man. You kind of just got to get over it. And I'm just like,
Oh my god.
his sister just died. And this is how you delivering the news to him?
oh my God.
And I mean, he was torn up when the dude gave him the news. Like, he broke out and started crying immediately.
that's a sister.
Yeah, and the dude's just like, yeah, like the no emotion on the guy's face. He's just like, yeah, stuff happens. Blah, blah, blah. And then he just leaves.
It's like telling someone that their car got wrecked.
Yeah.
Oh, cars get messed up. It happens. You'll be
Well,
okay.
To be
Pat,
fair,
pat.
think of
fucking sister.
think of doctors and surgeons when they tell it. They have to do it so many times it becomes emotionless to them.
Maybe, but the scene reminded me of that moment, and I'm just like, yep. Yeah, it's the military.
I can only imagine.
Although Viper is more gentle here than that guy, you said.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he the way that guy did it was worse. And I'm just like, oh my God.
That is terrible. I can't imagine giving that news.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I'd be crying.
I wouldn't want to be the guy that did that.
No, that's harsh. Viper. Like we said, he's telling him like, you know, you lost someone, it's gonna happen. You got to move on. Let him go. Just.
I still feel like that's a conversation they maybe should have had the next day.
Give him some time.
Yeah.
We don't know how
I
much
think-
time it's been.
Well,
Really.
I think he's trying to keep from what happening to Cougar, or slightly like Cougar, like how he just lost it. I think he's trying to get in there as soon as possible to prevent him from immediately starting to think everything.
That's a good idea. That's actually good.
Because I mean, to be fair, you go from you have to be the most confident, most I am the best while you're up there, because if you lose that, you had lost your life. And so I think he was trying to prevent him from losing that confidence, which they talk about later in another scene.
Mm-hmm.
But we also forgot to mention that when Viper first walks in, the first thing he says is just like Jeremy just described it, cold as ice. He just goes, "Goose is dead."
Oh, yeah. He's like, just go back.
Goose is dead. Maverick's like, I know. And then
I was there.
They have, I remember when I was cradling his lifeless body in the middle of the ocean. Then they have the whole conversation of let him go.
I think they did that to confirm with the audience too, though.
Oh, of course.
I was like, oh, that looks bad, but maybe he'll make it.
'Cause
Like,
if you-
I had some hope.
He might just be knocked out.
Yeah.
You don't remember me immediately being like, "Oh, he died."
Yeah, he's like, he's dead. And I was like, ah.
Well, no, I totally agree, because if you look the
Right.
way he hits, when he hits the canopy of the jet, he's still in his chair.
Right.
And it looks like most of the chair takes the impact.
Exactly.
Because like the back of the chair hits the canopy.
Yeah.
But then when you see the close up of Goose's body in the water, his face is all bloody.
But
Yeah.
also when you see him falling, it's literally
Oh,
just
he's
the cord
low.
getting lowered. Into
Well,
the
you got to think of how much propulsion is on their
Yeah.
seats to
Oh, absolutely.
shoot
Yeah,
them
yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah.
Like, I think I can imagine, like,
He was
But-
dead on impact.
But I imagine,
Yeah.
like what Etta just
Right.
said, it's to confirm or to convey to the audience.
that
He's dead.
He didn't make it.
So then Charlie drives Maverick to what I thought was Goose's house, but
it was where they were put up for the training.
okay.
Because they all, like, that wasn't really her house. It was the military's.
Right, because they're only there for a few weeks, but also just where Carol and Bradley were sitting, it looked like a waiting room, because there were these big couches in rows.
They were in their waiting room. They were in their, like, little training room. He was at Goose's room getting all of his stuff.
So is it like a little apartment?
Yeah, it's like little houses, like little, like, 1-2 bedroom kind of things is what it looked like.
Okay.
Because whenever he came and talked to Tom Cruise, they went from place to place. He went from his, like, little bungalow or whatever.
Yeah, because it
Tom
looked like he was
Cruise's.
just coming in like the patio door.
Like a little barracks or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Maverick is getting some of Goose's things. He grabs his dog tag, his sunglasses, and like some letters. And he's about to leave, and then he goes to see Carol, and this infuriated the absolute fuck out of me. This woman just lost her husband and the father of her child, but she is making it about Maverick. Like, oh, he would have flown. He never would have flown without you. But he never says anything to console her.
Did it look like he was trying to make himself cry and couldn't?
It looked like he was fighting back tears.
Okay, I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell if he was trying to make it seem like he was fighting them back or if he was trying to make them happy, because he's like...
I thought he was fighting back tears,
Yeah.
but it just pissed me the fuck off.
That he didn't say a single word.
He didn't say anything to her or Bradley. They're more important in the situation.
Nah, that ego's massive.
Yeah.
Well, no, I don't know if it's ego. I think he didn't
I
feel
think
like
it's the
he
way-
deserved to say anything because he feels like he killed him.
Well, because
Yeah.
he did.
Yeah.
He is directly responsible
He
for
did.
this.
No, let's not. He's not directly responsible.
I think he is, though. 'cause
No,
he
it
was
coulda
too clo-
hap-
He was too close to Iceman.
Yeah, but usually they can come out of it like a later scene in this movie. They can usually come out of it, but sadly, I think both of them went down at the same time, and there's no way to start him back up. But also, Goose was telling him to do that Goose was telling him to get in to take the shot. The whole time, Goose was telling Iceman to get out and was telling Maverick. Like, they were both down there together.
But with Maverick being the one who was in control of the plane, and he was the better pilot,
Fair.
He should have known better and been telling Goose, like, hey, man, I'm going to back off a little bit.
But when you have two guys that want that plaque and to be number one, who's pulling out when neither of them want to pull out?
And that's why mistakes were made.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just...
I think it was just a very freak accident.
I don't think it's ego in this situation. I think it's more just the way the story is. This guy is the main character, so everything around him affects him more than the side characters.
Well, to be fair, what I meant by that phrase was that his ego is now crippled.
Oh,
And because his ego is so massive, now that it's hurt, that's all he can think about. His ego is hurt now. That has now enveloped him. He doesn't have the capacity to feel for other people because his own ego is fractured. He's hurt.
I screwed up the test. I got my friend killed. It's all about me. I'm not going to try to console these people that were closer to him in a way.
That are also hurt.
These are his literal family.
He can't see outside of himself.
Right.
And I
but
think
what infuriates me is everyone else gets in on that.
Well, I think he just doesn't think that he deserves to give them console because, like you said, he feels like it's his fault, and I mean, he is the pilot.
That's definitely part of it.
I don't feel like he feels like he can give them.
What the fuck am I going to say?
Yeah.
And
What is the murderer going to say, kind of thing?
And not to mention, that woman, she's probably a lot more mature than he is. She knows that, like, at that point, it wouldn't have helped for her to be like, why wouldn't you be trying to console me in this situation? Because she knows him. So it's just like, yeah, he's probably so hurt he don't even have the ability to console me right now.
No, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
A lot of emotions.
It's like certain people you wouldn't expect things from because they don't have that in them.
Emotional capacity.
Yeah.
The next thing is there's a hearing, and they determined that Maverick was not at fault for the crash. Just it was the jet wash caught the jet. It crashed. Couldn't get out of it. Nothing Maverick could have done in that moment. But as we've talked about here a little bit, we feel like if he had just backed off a little bit, it would have been better.
Or if Iceman would have left sooner.
Let's
not forget about that. They called him for that whole time because he couldn't get a lock, and they were ready for a lock.
Right. So they were like, look, Mitchell is clear of all charges. There's nothing he did to warrant punishing. He's allowed to get his wings back. He can be back in the air. And Viper tells Jester, like, hey, get him back up in a plane. I want him up there soon.
Because he's about to be gone.
And now that Maverick is back in the plane, he's his new Rio is Sundown.
So sassy.
Well, this part...
Not a great name, either.
Well, before we get into the name, Sundown is played by Clarence Gilliard Jr.
I love him.
Who... He was the computer hacker from Die Hard.
And he's
so annoying.
He's also Walker, Texas Ranger's right-hand man.
I never saw Walker, Texas Ranger.
Okay.
Dude, yes. Homeboy is a beast.
He sadly died, I want to say 2 years ago.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Wow,
But
COVID?
I was going to say, this is where you come in.
R.I.P. I'll pour one out for him. He's
real.
a real...
He has a great line in Die Hard where they blow up a tank and he goes, "The quarterback is toast." But yeah, he's playing the Rio Sundown, and not a great name.
No.
As your only black character?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Named Sundown. Anyone want to explain for anyone out there who doesn't know what a sundown town is?
Oh, I don't... Oh, I was just
where
thinking...
you don't go out after the sun is down.
Oh. I thought they were just meaning because it's like nighttime.
A sundown town is specifically... It's a town where black people aren't... Well, not even just black people. People who aren't traditionally accepted.
Minorities. Yeah.
Yeah. They are essentially, like, if you are caught in town after dark, you will be not going any place else.
You'll be going to jail.
No, you'll be killed.
Oh, got you.
Yeah.
Got you.
It's not safe for you after sundown.
When was that happening?
It's happening now.
I was saying, it's
what
It's
towns are
right
still
now.
allowed to do that?
There are a lot of places in Alabama. There's towns in South Carolina.
I don't know if they're allowed.
Oh yeah, no, they're definitely not allowed. But like, how do you cover it up?
You don't. It's just like there are places where you just know not to go.
I got you on
routes
that.
you can actually tell. Like you can look at specifically if you look at places that vote blue in the South. Those are the places that you should travel to. Like that. Like you can follow that highway path to know where you should stop, and only go that way. Don't go outside. Don't travel. Follow that path, and you will be safe.
So that's a sundown town.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I had a feeling it was something. I was just thinking because when the sun goes down, it's dark. I thought they were just giving him that racial name,
No,
kind of like
it's a
midnight.
little worse.
That's also bad, but
Yeah, I was thinking they were meaning it like midnight.
I
kinda
mean, they
stuff.
could have been, but the connotation.
Midnight would have been a better name.
That's why I was like, I didn't even hear. For a second, I thought they called him Merlin.
Merlin is the guy from the beginning.
Right, but I swear I heard them say your person will be Merlin.
Yep, we get that at the end
There we go.
after school. So
There we go.
the one predominant black character in this
Yeah.
movie, and he's barely predominant. He's barely in this. He's a
Yeah.
background character for 90% of it. Named Sundown, not a great name. And I didn't learn about sundown towns till I was in my early 30s. So it was like in the last 5 years. No one ever told me. No one ever talked about it.
It's not prevalent to him,
Right.
so
So no one told me about it. So he's now partnered with Sundown, but he's too afraid to engage in any of the training exercises. Like he looks like he has a clear shot and he won't take it.
He says not good.
Sundown is mad.
he keeps doing in the training where they say veer off and get to safety. That's what he's following now.
Yes.
He's too afraid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Sundown tells him like, man, look, that was a good shot. We could have had him. And Maverick grabs him and Maverick is like, I will take the shot when I am goddamn good and ready. And Jester and Viper are watching from the side, and and Jester tells him, he goes, he's too afraid. He won't do anything now. And Viper says,
Keep taking him up.
keep putting him in the plane. He'll eventually figure it out.
And I think Iceman and Slider see it.
But Iceman tells him in the locker room, he's like, look, I'm sorry about Goose. Everyone liked him. He was a great guy. I'm sorry what happened.
And you can see him trying to think of what to say so he knows it's not coming from a bad place.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
You can see
absolutely.
him. And I like how Tom Cruise Maverick didn't try and say anything like, I don't want to hear this shit or something like that. Like, he really did take it. And then Moose or whatever, I forgot his name.
This is one of the best parts of the movie because after
He just calls out of nowhere.
oh no because Iceman leaves. Oh, I'm sorry. Maverick walks away. He's like loading up his shit out of his locker, and it like pans over a little bit. At the end of the row, there was a random guy standing there.
It was,
Wolfman,
there we go.
and we hadn't really gotten to know this character at all.
not at
but
all.
He just calls
he
somebody.
calls somebody. And you go, hey, it's Wolfman. Yeah, Maverick just quit. You know me, Wolfman, the guy who's been so key to this entire film.
The second rudder up, yeah, he's out.
Yeah.
It reminded me of that scene in Back to the Future when the guy in the band calls that guy
Marvin Berry?
Yeah, it's like, you know, it's me, your cousin Marvin.
Marvin Berry. Chuck, listen to this. But yeah, so I believe then it cuts to Charlie showing up at this. It looked like the what do they call it at the airport?
Oh, the lounge?
It looked like the lounge at the airport. And he's sitting there. Maverick looks hammered. I don't know if anyone else thought that. He looks so fucking drunk.
I just look depressed. I didn't even know how many drinks he had.
He was drinking ice water.
Oh no, she said vodka.
No, Charlie says, "I'll have what he's having," and the bartender looks at Maverick, and Maverick says, "Ice water." All he's drinking is water, but he looks smashed.
Well, didn't she said something with vodka?
She might have, but
I
she
wonder if
does.
it was vodka when he said, "Just I'm gonna tell you waters, you bring me vodkas."
But it was so funny to me because he's just drinking water, and she's sitting there telling him, like, you can't quit, you're almost done, and basically the scene ends with she's saying she's there to help, and he has this he basically nukes their relationship in this line. But he says, "Look, if I wanted help, I would have asked for it."
To be fair, I understand where he's coming from. The last thing he wants to do is think of anything else but all of that. Even though she is being very genuine, she is trying to make it work. And he's like this, I don't fucking care. Anyone that just felt responsible for killing their best friend and brother, it's a hard thing to probably try and go through. And the last thing is a fifth person to say, I'm here for you.
It's a defensive mechanism. He was putting a wall up. He didn't
Yeah.
want to hurt anybody else around him.
Yeah.
But at this point, there should have been nothing left for a relationship.
Right.
Because
Oh, no.
whether he comes back to apologize later, I'm good. I'm good. Now I
She
totally
is
get
in
it.
love with him.
She is in love with him.
She's
I won't-
fighting for their love.
I won't say it should be over because everybody deserves
They're
a second chance.
2-month-old love.
Their 2-month-old love.
Yeah.
They're
Barely.
kindling
Barely.
romance.
I honestly thought she was just going to use him for big information and then dip out to her new job and that we weren't going to see her again.
Just
and
like
I
Frank.
would have been perfectly okay with that.
Just
Just
like
that would
any
have been
government
realistic.
official.
Look, I know you're hurting right now. Can you just tell me about
Tell
that
me about
Mig
that Mig
one more
again.
time?
So y'all were inverted, right?
How fast were you going?
I won't say his name, but Goose did what?
Duck!
Can I get the Polaroid that Goose had?
Get the Polaroid.
Can I get the Polaroid.
I want to be able to see the other pilot's gauges real quick.
Yeah, he crashed and burned it right then. And
Right
there.
then and there.
But like we said, it is two toxic people together, so they are gonna come back like two bad magnets.
Oh yeah, you got to. That chemistry is unstoppable.
For what
Soul,
chemistry the movie tried to convince you they had.
soul
The
sucking.
tongues were unstoppable.
100%.
Those tongue, yes.
It wasn't a romantic comedy.
No. It wasn't even a romantic drama.
It wasn't even a comedy.
It wasn't even a romance.
It's all of them together. It's a jack of all, but a master of none.
This is a back to school movie.
That Take My Breath Away song was doing some heavy lifting for this relationship.
yeah, it was.
It was doing the only lifting, to be honest.
It's like, oh, that's how we know they're in love.
Oh, the song came on? They're in love. So Maverick goes to see Viper at his house,
Oh, such a good scene though.
and Viper comes out in this big blousey shirt with his sleeves rolled up, with his hairy arms hanging out of it.
His
Look-
Top Gun merch.
Oh,
Looks like he's
yeah.
wearing a sweater under the shirt.
A real manly man.
Oh yeah.
Slaps on the Aves.
And he tells Maverick, like, look, I could get in serious trouble for telling you this, but
He knew he needed to hear it.
yeah. He's like, look, I flew with your father.
To be fair, who wouldn't want to find out after, 20 years how their father actually was he a traitor or did he die? Because that's what they made it
happened
seem.
to him?
That's why he wasn't able to really get into the academy or anything. He said how hard they tried to not let him in because they pretty much said his father was a traitor.
Well, I thought it was more just they didn't know what happened to him.
Well, they knew it happened, but they were making it seem like they didn't know it happened, and then you find out why.
Well, they were
On the
in a
wrong side of the
dogfight.
line.
Yeah, over the wrong side of the line. His dad got hit. He was wounded,
Could have made it back.
but instead he stayed in the fight and he took down. I want to say he took
Three
down
more.
3 more planes, and he went down after that. And this is kind of a part that was really weird. Maverick's about to quit, but Viper tells him he already has the points to graduate.
No, he said, what are my options? He's like, well, either A, you have the points to graduate with your team, or you quit.
Right. So Maverick had already decided to quit, but Viper tells him you have the points.
Oh, I thought he meant if you have the points, you
No,
graduate. Oh, my bad.
he says you already have the points.
Oh, I misheard it.
So he's already finished. He's done. He's basically like if you're painting a painting and you finish it and then you throw it in the trash.
Yeah.
It's like, why would you did it? You passed.
Granted, he passed, but it's just like, I don't want to be a pilot anymore.
Right. He
What
was shaken.
boss?
He was severely shaken.
It's like finishing nursing school and then just deciding I don't want to be a nurse.
You
Yeah.
know what? I don't like needles.
So basically, this gives Maverick the confidence he needs to finish Top Gun and graduate. They're at the graduation ceremony, and of course, Iceman wins first place. He gets his name on the plaque. and they're kind of sitting around like, where's Maverick? Is he going to show up? And of course, he shows up after everything's done. He missed the entire graduation ceremony. He shows up right at the very end.
He's been late for everything.
Yeah,
He can't tell time is what I'm starting to think. Like,
oh no, he was watching.
watching.
He checked his watch the whole volleyball game. He knew he was fucked.
Yeah.
He was like,
if only I could read this thing.
Yeah.
If only this volleyball game would have never started.
So they get their new order. Oh, Maverick congratulates Iceman for winning.
There's a lot of respect.
What a good sport.
And they get their orders.
Sundown, sadly name. He gives respect too. Like he's talking. He's like, I couldn't expect him to be here after that.
Yeah,
like they're all talking about how that situation is.
Yeah, we get why he's not here.
Were there only 5 of them that got orders?
It was Iceman, Slider, Wolfman, Hollywood,
and
Maverick.
Personally.
And they all get sent to the ship we started on at the beginning, the USS Enterprise in the Indian Ocean.
I feel like Maverick shouldn't have gotten the orders. Like,
well, here's the thing. He didn't show anything.
He was getting ready to quit yesterday. Like,
but they didn't know that.
Yeah, they didn't know.
It wasn't an official thing. It was just Wolfman trying to do whatever.
I think Wolfman called Charlie.
How would he know Charlie's number?
She likes
trifling
students.
Trifling.
maybe it's in the directory.
No wonder she kept calling Tom Cruise because Wolfman didn't know how to handle it.
What was Wolfman's problem?
You can only fly during the full moon.
He's just a hairy individual.
Anyway, they get their orders. They go
does
back
night
to
missions.
Captain Sweatman's ship.
Yep.
Captain Sweatman.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how those ships feel on the inside.
And the instructor said if you don't get a Rio, you're supposed to get a Rio. If you don't, I will fly with you.
Yeah,
that's
Viper says
Yeah.
that to him. He says he'd fly with Maverick any day.
Yeah.
Also, Captain Sweatman is codenamed Stinger, James Tolkien's character.
And he was the same one, that sent him off.
So they're back on the Enterprise, and basically they're doing a recovery mission.
Yeah. And was across enemy or the line or something.
Yeah, it was like in enemy territory,
Yeah.
and they're trying to do a rescue mission, and the Jets are just supposed to.
Yeah, they need air cover or they need air support.
Yeah.
Thank you. And Iceman and Slider are going up as main, not surveillance, but main coverage, with Wolfman and Hollywood as their wingman.
Yeah.
And Maverick and Merlin, Tim Robbins' character,
Are on deck ready for backup.
yes. And Iceman goes up to Stinger and he's like, look, no disrespect, but about Maverick, do you think he's the best for backup?
And then Maverick hears it and he's like, I'm done with this.
Well, Maverick kind of has that thing of like, yeah, I get why you're saying that.
Yeah, he feels like shit. He's like, okay, now I can't be trusted. I need to switch it.
He's a bad wingman.
Yes, because we learned that earlier a couple times that
Well,
he won't stick with
He
his
will not
his
stay
wingman.
with his
I don't
wingman.
know if it was mainly that or the fact that he's still shooken up about the death of Goose.
Oh,
and
he absolutely
can't pull
is still
the
shaken
trigger.
up.
I
Yes.
think that's what Iceman
probably
was
both.
bringing up. Not the fact that he just leaves. Because he's never just left in real combat. We've only seen it in situations
Neither
where
one
it's
of them
not.
have, though.
This is the first time we have real combat in this entire movie. This is the first time where we see any kind of bullets or missiles fired in a 2-hour movie.
Iceman brought up a valid point, though. He's like,
I mean, you can't follow me in training.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, no, I don't think his was about the training situations. I think Iceman's was really just because he hasn't gotten over the death of Goose. And his other Rio understood that you can't pull the trigger right now. I don't think it was about any of the other stuff. I think it was solely
about games.
that he hasn't been able to fly.
And see, I think it's both.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
That's
think
fair.
it'd be
Yeah.
he's experienced that he's a bad wingman, and now he's still shaken up about losing his Rio and his best friend. Maybe not the best guy to have backup for me,
I would
or
just-
have as backup.
I would just figure he would have said that when they got the order, so he didn't even go.
Right.
That's why I don't think it was
Right?
about that, but those are good points.
He probably didn't want to ruin the moment that he just got there and, graduated.
Hey,
and
you a piece
got
of
his
shit.
orders.
We don't want you here.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, even in that moment at the graduation, Tom Cruise is like, "Hey man, congratulations!
Yeah.
I'm happy for you. I'm glad you did it." But they go up and there's 5.
There's
bogeys.
It's like
5 bogeys. Mm-hmm. And there's a funny line. Wolfman and Hollywood are in their plane, and one of them's like, "They must be getting close. I'm getting hard on."
Did they say it?
I missed it.
I didn't hear that one.
Oh yeah, it's like right in that scene.
Second hard on joke.
Yep.
I expect more. Military movie. I expect.
Don't
way
we all
more.
expect more hard ons?
Well, in military stuff, oh dude.
So they're up there, and one of the bogeys is chasing Wolfman and Hollywood. I actually think Hollywood is the pilot. Wolfman, I believe, is the Rio, because they get shot down.
Yeah, Wolfman's Rio.
Right, because when they get shot down, everyone's saying, "Oh, Hollywood's down." So I assumed he was the pilot. Mm-hmm. They both live, but because they're shot down, they send up Maverick and Merlin for the backup. Iceman is up there trying to duck and dodge and weave these other 5 bogeys. Maverick disengages from the fight because he's scared. He's holding Goose's dog tags.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he gets in there and he really sees the hornet's nest of 5-on-1, and he kind of loses it for a second. And he pulls out.
Yep, and they're all on the radio like, Maverick's disengaging. He's not doing it. You can hear Merlin like, Maverick, we got to get in there. We got to help Iceman. Iceman's on the radio. You got to help me. I'm surrounded. I need some backup here. And finally Maverick pulls his shit together because he's like, talk to me, Goose. Talk to me.
And that's why I thought he took down 4, because there was 5, and I didn't know Iceman took down 2.
No, Iceman takes down 1. I tallied it.
1 pulls away. 1 retreated.
One retreats.
Yeah.
So Maverick in this scene takes out three of the planes. Ice takes out 1. Last plane.
Because he's not as good. I'm joking. He got shot.
shot. Iceman got hit like twice with bullets.
One of his engines were out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And Maverick uses this braking maneuver that he actually used on Jester when they went below the hard deck in that exercise.
Mm-hmm. You just...
Yeah, he hits the brakes and he pulls up, and the plane tailing them goes right past them, and suddenly they're in front. Mm-hmm. So he uses that maneuver again. He takes out one of these MiGs. And he does the thing again where he requests to buzz the tower. And they're like, no.
The same guy, he's like this, no, but yes. He's like, I'm going to say no, but they all were accepting of it.
He does it again.
Yeah, it was a joke the second time. Y'all didn't...
I didn't catch it as a joke.
Because Merlin's like, is there something I'm missing here? Because they're laughing. And him and Iceman do a flyby.
Yeah, he was definitely with Ice. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think he was laughing because he knew it was them. And I mean, with the fact that they just did what they did, I think they were accepted of it, but he spilled some coffee still.
Well, no, it was a different guy.
That's the same guy.
No, it was a different guy. Because the guy that he did it to earlier was at Top Gun.
It looked like the same dude. It looked like the same guy.
I don't think it was, though. I don't think it was.
They might not be.
Because now they're on the ship. They're out in the middle of the ocean.
Right.
But the other guy, I assume, was just an officer stationed at Top Gun.
That's,
But either way, they buzz the tower. The guy spills something on himself.
It just feels like these people don't know how to drink their coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do not.
But when they land, everyone's cheering Maverick, and he gets out, and Iceman tells him, like, you could be my wingman any day. Which Maverick says, no. You can be my wingman any day. Mm-hmm. Masculinity. Testosterone's flowing. And then after we have this little celebration on the deck, this is the other part that really pissed me off. Maverick tosses Goose's dog tags off the side of the ship.
I was so mad. I was like, don't do it. I was like, you can put it on your own. What?
I knew.
I was like, you can give it to his son.
You are the wife.
Etta, I said that when we were watching the movie. I said, don't you do it.
I think I did too.
Yeah.
I was like, no.
Because I said, when he was looking at the water, I said, he's about to throw the dog tag.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, no, don't you throw those dog tags. And then he's just like,
whew. I was like, he could have done so many things.
I know.
You don't think maybe Bradley wanted those? Something?
Carol might have wanted them to
Right.
remember
Let me tell
her
you.
husband.
Me and all my siblings have one of my dad's dog tags. He had multiple sets.
Yeah.
So we all have an original. I have a replica I keep in my car. But if I found out some asshole had taken those things and hucked them off a ship, I'd have been mollywopping that guy.
Yeah.
And it was at that moment I was like, "Ooh, we can't come back from this one."
Oh, you can't come back from that. Those are gone.
Gone.
He let him go. He finally let.
He
Goose
finally
go.
let him go.
That's why I said to Ed, I was like, he had to let him go.
Easier way, maybe toss a shirt, get some pants, throw the sunglasses in there. I don't know.
Or just do something metaphorical.
Yeah, write his name on a sheet of paper and let it go in a bottle.
Something.
You're on a beach somewhere and a bottle washes up. You open it, goose. Is there a duck?
Yeah, you immediately start sprinting because this is the most dangerous
Oh.
game of Duck, Duck, Goose you've ever played.
Same guy. It is.
It is the same guy?
That's why I was like, he looked very
I thought it was
familiar.
a totally different person. It might have just been the outfit.
I think that's why he was like, what's the joke? And he asked for the coffee again.
Oh, okay.
That's why I thought.
Okay.
Because he didn't get in trouble for that one, because I was like, why would he get in trouble? They both just did
the
a
scene-
miraculous
Well, the scene
feat.
ends there. He gets in trouble later on.
Gets his
'Cause
ass.
James Tolkien's like, you too?
I'm getting your butt this time.
Sweating bullets again.
Sweating straight
He's
bull.
like, it's about time I get these butts.
Hold on, I can't.
Been waiting all the movie. Give me that ass.
So Maverick tossed the dog tags,
Such a dumb thing.
but then he's in the locker room and James Tolkien walks in, Stinger, and he says, how's it feel to be on the front page of every English-speaking newspaper in the world? And I was like, for what?
I doubt that was in the newspapers, like, at all.
Every paper he fought 20 bogeys, took them all on.
Because
like,
everything else that was outside of was classified. Why would that not have been classified?
Oh, it was
Exactly.
yeah.
It was definitely classified. There's no chance that was on the news.
We gotta keep bumping this kid's ego up. He's
Because
the main character.
Yeah, because they were going across enemy lines. That's
Yep.
why they needed the protection. So I doubt we're going to be like, hey, these fighter pilots did amazing when they went into enemy territory for
They took on the
Did
retrieval.
I ask that though? I was like, wouldn't that have been classified?
I think you did.
Yeah,
And I believe I said, well, they might have mentioned that something happened, but there were no specifics.
that's true.
And so that's why he's just like, oh, yeah, you're on the front
That's-
page,
Oh, I guess
even though there
maybe-
were no details.
Pilot saves
Or
pilot.
your ship recovered or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
They didn't say exactly what was on the front page, but
Oh,
it's just like,
they-
this
But we
incident-
know Maverick is on the front
Yeah.
page.
Yeah.
In some way.
Because they said even though the other side's denying it.
We gotta keep let's get this ego up here.
It's okay. He's a good wingman now.
He is finally a good wingman.
Good,
Ish.
passable. One time he was a decent wingman.
Watch the second one. He is a phenomenal wingman.
Good adjacent.
Well, he had 40 years to get it right.
And he let Goose go.
He finally let.
He let Goose go. So
No.
Our
trust me,
last-
he hasn't.
our last scene in the movie is Maverick at a bar, and
Being an instructor.
you see someone put a coin in the jukebox, and for a minute I thought it was going to start playing
Great
Take my
ball.
breath away.
Take My Breath Away.
I would have been so mad.
I thought we were going to finally start hearing it like diegetically, like in the moment.
Oh, I knew it was going to be Great Balls of Fire.
Oh, that.
I knew it was.
But Kelly McGillis has come back to the movie, and she says something about she didn't take that job in DC.
Did she
And
say no or? Oh,
I don't remember.
I don't remember. I thought that's why she'd come back. She
Well-
also mentioned that she heard he was going to be there.
She heard the best of the best was going to be back.
Yeah.
She needed that Maverick.
But basically, they're like, well, this could be a bad idea, but let's find out where it goes.
Like
Yeah.
they say it. They say it all the time. It's going to be complicated.
Yeah.
And it was.
And then our movie ends with them kissing in this bar.
It's not complicated now. You're both instructors.
Take
It
my
was
breath
complicated when you were an instructor and a student.
Now you're
That's
colleagues.
complicated.
She
Yeah.
didn't get the job because they found out she was with a student.
Oh,
That's what it was.
I think we totally went past it. But when James Tolkien asked him told him on the boat, he was on the newspaper, that he asked him what he thought he wanted to do. He said he might want to go be an instructor at Top Gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he said, God help us.
Yeah, and he
Yeah.
just laughs and walks away. But yeah, that's probably why she didn't get the job in DC, because they found out she was fooling around with a student blatantly in front of everybody. So that's our movie.
I think it's safe to say we all would have not liked this in the theater, except maybe Corey.
Yeah, let's go around and do that. So Jeremy, we'll start with you. I'll go last on this one.
Yeah, I wouldn't have.
Since this was your pick.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't have gone to see it in the first place, but nah, I wouldn't have liked it in theaters. Nope.
That's
I would
fair.
have wanted my money back.
Etta?
Same. I probably wouldn't have gone and seen it. The movie's a little misleading because it seems like it would be more jet fighting,
war
but
movie.
it was, school and just male ego in general, and not enough character development for the main character.
I
And
get all
shitty
that.
romance. So, yeah, no.
Yeah.
I would have, no, not for me.
Not as bad as that one movie. My bad. Corey?
It is better than Never Been Kissed, in my opinion.
Yeah, because
I
it doesn't
agree.
have pedophilia in it.
That was my argument.
I think Never Been Kissed is still a better movie. It's a
It
better
was your pick. Yeah,
It's
so
a better put
nobody's
together
surprised.
movie
Yes,
than this.
in my opinion.
Putting together travesties.
Yes, I love this movie.
Yeah.
I always have. I do. I mean, there's definitely too much trying to have romance. I'm not saying too much romance, just trying to have it for it to be a real military-ish. But I still enjoyed it.
Okay. Erica?
I would rather gnaw my own arm off than see this movie again.
Yikes.
It
Damn.
not good. The movie opened and I was like, okay. And then we got like 5 minutes in and I was like, oh no. Like, no.
Okay. So I got 3 would have regretted seeing it in the theater and 1 not would have regretted it. So for me, I absolutely would have regretted seeing this in the theater. I did not like this movie. I like some of the actors in this film. There were moments in it that I did like. I liked Goose's character. I liked his relationship with Carol and Maverick. I did not like the jet scenes because I just didn't like the way they were filmed. I get it was 86 and they were working with what they had. But it was just so choppy. The cuts were so quick and you don't really get to see a lot of the actual maneuvering of the planes. It's mostly from the cockpit.
I would argue that Star Wars is a better fighter jet movie than this movie is.
Oh, no.
Yes. Because there's big battle scenes
Yeah.
that you see large scopes of the battlefield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
it's animated.
It's
Oh,
like
no,
stop motion and shit.
yeah, they did. Yeah,
Yeah.
the originals.
Yeah,
yeah,
they did stop
yeah.
motion and everything.
My bad. Yeah,
Little
the
models.
originals. Yeah, that's.
But yeah,
fair.
and then
That's
all
fair.
the stuff in this movie of trying to make Maverick seem like this amazing character when we consistently see him fail and we are always told their people are doing better than him. I just wasn't feeling all the hype for this character that people have. Like one of my brother-in-laws loves this movie. He saw this movie in theaters when it came out in 86.
Wow.
But I don't get it. It's not for me. Definitely would have regretted seeing it.
I don't know who this movie is for.
People like
All the
Tom Cruise.
people that made it one of the biggest grossing movies.
So
To be fair.
it's time for everyone's favorite part of the show where we guess what the movie ticket price was.
And this was 80 what?
This was 86.
$5.
$2.13.
$3.47.
Wow, I was gonna say 386.
Damn, Jeremy!
Jeremy was off by 15 cents.
Oh, my goodness.
It was $3.71.
Oh man, nah, dude, Jeopardy, you went over. I mean, Price is Right. Nah, Price is Right. You went. What's it over now? Man? Dang, that's the closest I've ever been. I'm happy.
In 2 weeks, our next movie is something Jeremy picked for us. It is the original Total Recall from 1990.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
And we're going to have a return. Michael Ironside is in that movie. The guy who plays Jester in this movie.
Is there a remake?
Oh yeah,
There was a remake in 2012.
with my
With,
Hollywood crush.
What's his name?
Colin Farrell.
Yeah,
No, that's not him.
who was in Minority Report?
Kate Beckinsale.
Kate Beckinsale was in it. I want to say Jessica Biel was in it. It's apparently a completely different movie.
Yeah,
I've heard it's not good. I've never seen anything of it. I've only seen a little bit of the Schwarzenegger one.
Follow us on all socials at Get2Theater, the number 2.
YouTube, Spotify, Amazon, Apple Podcasts. You can find us. All of our episodes are up there. You guys like, follow, subscribe, comment on it, whatever you feel like doing. So
That's Get2Theater 2, the number 2.
So we'll see you guys in 2 weeks for our episode on Total Recall. We've been Getting to the Theater. I'm Adam.
I'm Erica.
I'm Corey.
I'm Etta.
I'm Jeremy.
Thanks for listening.